God, no. Come on, just reach. Reach.
Just
Grab my hand. Grab my hand.
give me the meat stick. This other hand's closer. The one with the stick is... Oh.
wish we stayed the same. I got way too many thoughts in my brain, but I got memories that run through my veins. I'm not one to blame, but I could point out every way that you changed. Some things stay up while others go right down the drain. And lately we've been going down in flames. But if I'm honest, I get in my feels when I want you. Say you feel it too, I'll haunt you. Hold on till I'm lost in the fun. But if I'm honest, I get in my feels when I want you. Say you feel it too, I'll haunt you. Hold on till I'm lost in the fun. But if I'm my therapist is saying that I should. I don't believe her, but I really wish I could. Instead, I guess I'll stay misunderstood. Oh, 'cause I'm stuck now, just trying to figure a way out. I've tried but can't seem to slow down. I don't know if I want to. But if I'm honest, I get in my feels when I want you. Say you feel it too, I'll haunt you. Hold on till I'm lost in the fun. But if I'm honest, I get my feels when I want you. Say you feel it too, I'll haunt you. Hold on till I'm lost in the fun. But if I'm seem to slow down. I don't know if I want to. 'Cause I'm stuck now, just trying to figure a way out. I've tried but can't seem to slow down. I don't know if I want to.
Too many faces in the crowd, but I think that I see you. One too many days got me changing up the way that I need you. Now we're both at a bar, acting like it's not hard, trying to feel something different. Talk to somebody new, kinda wish it was you, kinda numb to the feeling. Now that you're gone, they say time should heal, but it's been too long. Couple months and I can't seem to move on. I can't seem to move on. I can't seem to. I can't seem to. Not that you're from 24/7 to pretending like I never met you. No, it's all for the best, 'cause I know we're a mess every time we're together. Going out of my mind, and I wish I could lie, tell you that it gets better. Now that you're gone, they say time should heal, but it's been too long. Couple months where I can't seem to move
frozen over like I am. Well, I know you know that like it's colder, colder when I'm older, older than I am. And I know you know that I have lost composure, but I'll hold you closer while I can. I never told you that I'm slightly broken, that I might lose focus when I am. I know you know that life gets colder, colder when you're frozen over like I am.
All I seek to find is a world that's mine. Need a place to hide. Will you free my mind? Following the lights of a world that's blind. In your eyes I see there's a place.
Welcome everyone to NECC. It's Rocket League Thursday time. I hope you're Thursday because, well, I was gonna say thirsty, but it's Thursday regardless. As we get into some awesome action, these teams ready to measure up to our expectations. I'm Hell Monkey Man in the booth alongside Tugboat as we'll be measuring our way into some great overall matches. Tugboat, how you doing? We're nearly to the weekend, just oh so close, but we got some good matches ahead of us.
Basically taste it. The weekend is almost upon us, Monkey Man, but before we get there, like you said, a trio of Rocket League action coming right down the barrel at you, right? We got the Carleton Ravens, the UCF Knights, Division 2, and both of these teams looking to pin in their first win.
We're filled with puns, with props, and with some good times. This is going to be a fantastic stream. It's the UCF Knights from their academy squad. Their second squad was Super, Ketch, and Lucas, and the Carleton Ravens Red, an expansion team from the previous Carleton University esports squad that was with us in the fall with Spoon, Collabster, and Maple Bacon being that wombo combo at the end there to round out that new roster. And I feel like right now, obviously we were talking about expectations. There's some for both these squads to get a win because both are 0-2, trying to find their footing. Week 3 would be a great spot to do that.
Yeah, the middle part of this season, 7 weeks total, Monkey Man. Eventually, you have to, you just have to add to that first column if you're going to be thinking about the postseason, which all of these collegiate teams are going to be doing regardless of division.
Yeah, and if we actually look back to their previous weeks, it was Carleton that actually went to a very gut-wrenching game number 7. They ultimately lost to the Queens Golden Gales, and then UCF Knights, they had an 0-4 to the other end of things. Carleton then went and got 0-4'd by Thomas College, and then the UCF Knights, well, they went to game 6 with Lawrence, who were doing really well. Both these teams looking for a fast start, and especially the Knights.
Wow, yeah, the Knights get off to a gallop here and early. Maple Bacon and Spoon both having honest opportunities at that one. Just want to go ahead and give a quick shout out here. Chippy, of course, our producer on the day, making our jobs as casters that much easier. G Fuel, yes, G Fuel. Use G Fuel 20 or NECC 20 for code off. Little next purchase of G Fuel. Big shout out Wenzel's Farms as well, guys. You'll see plenty of their real fun advertising on the breaks.
If you need any extra protein, make sure to head up some Wenzel's Farms because they will make sure that you'll be snacking where you might be lacking. Either way, first half minute or so, we get the early ripper. The Knights, though, seeing the Carleton Ravens beginning to fly as they want to take possession, but look how quickly they just subdue them at the midfield off that challenge.
Great takeaway there from Maple Bacon. Add a second one on top. That's a screamer across Spoon's, or Lou's, excuse me. I think we were actually looking at one perspective and it got demolished quickly. Barely perceived that one. Super gets it taken away as well as Carleton Ravens putting on a solid defense.
It's like they're trying to find these better connections. That's been kind of the one and done affair. They get a low slot shot. Maple Bacon puts Baby in a corner. And in the first minute of play, both these teams got one.
This is such a fantastic play. Everybody on the Ravens side getting a hand or a claw, whatever you want to call it, onto this ball. Tie ball game, 54 seconds into this game 1 of possibly 7.
Wing and talon, fried chicken and all. Carleton Ravens. I don't know if Ravens actually make great food. I think they're kind of gamey. But, you know, I haven't really had that many in my life. The Knights hoping to get back to cooking because it looks like that Carleton, even with that first kind of splash attack off of the, I think it's like the first kickoff, the first face-off, if you will, for game number 1, they've really stabilized. They're looking for these upfield connections.
Yeah, 6 seconds in is fantastic time to get an initial kickoff, kind of set the stage here, but a couple of opportunities for the Knights, nothing just really on point, Monkey Man. Gonna have to clean up the accuracy issues from that offense if they're gonna look to come forward and put more points on the board.
Spoon giving up the body to try and get not only a piece of the ball, but into that corner boost, and they come away with neither after being demoed. Spoon right back to whence they came, and we're seeing a lot more demos, but it's really not been playing as a major factor for the Ravens. They've actually come up stronger, and they've come up longer from the back pitch. That's going to go backboard. Spoon's going to try and keep the cycling, and Collabster will collaborate with them. We are 2 minutes in.
Lucas with a fantastic back hit right here to Super as he kind of loses possession but knows the teammate is there. Now, Lucas looking to paint something beautiful right here, and this is his easel. No, gets immediately taken away, painting demolished.
Yeah, that's, you know, they come in, they throw your art supplies everywhere, and then you could slump and grump, but you might be able to come back stronger. Lucas actually looking for a chance as Super wins the 1v1 battle. Fantastic flick. And, I mean, right now it's about just winning these duels for the Knights. They want to make open space by getting some fakes, getting some quick flicks, but it's been the Ravens that, as a holistic team effort, I mean, look how Spoon is already on the outside. Massive demo, but they move this one upfield into a march.
The Spoon was trying to get this one foisted towards the middle. A little bit of a better angle there, Monkey Man. Would have rang true. Defense not there, but that offensive drive just kind of left stagnant unless Maple Bacon can get some sort of connection to Spoon. Has to pick it back up themselves. And actually a hit from a teammate right there is going to send this one back on over, and now the Knights probably having an opportunity here on offense.
That's especially because 2 of the players from Carleton do not have any boost, and that's leaving it to all of a sole effort to just stay into the corner. As they slow down, the Knights will be ramping up. But even with those first couple of goals in the first minute, that is all we have seen, at least to make it to the scoreboard. Carleton have made long field trips. Collabster with a delayed approach up underneath the cut of that jib. But Maple Bacon hoping to send it anywhere, didn't get any power, and we're right back to the Ravens' cage.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of times when Maple Bacon has opted to try and use the walls, ceiling, or anything but a teammate basically to bounce this ball to themselves or try and get an open space is just getting taken away by these Knights consistently and frequently. Lucas, speaking of a takeaway there, gets it to up the wall away from Spoon. Teammate takes it. Super now from the corner, no boost to be spoken of, and gets the corner taken right away in front of him. Lucas trying to make it something fancy happen themselves.
It's individual mechanics. Really, the Knights have not super connected. They've been into drop zone play. This is going to go backboard. You don't find the Ravens lacking just yet. They were hoping to give Lucas a free run up. They're going to do it one more time. Double tap not there. But look how the Ravens are slowly being sequestered from boost. You'll have this front side corner. Spoon has to come up. He'll do so later after Maple Bacon will make a connection. But look at so many deflections, so many 50-50s. It feels like if the Ravens do not break out here, the Knights might have a final chance. Massive demo. Oh, the outside Spoon did not commit.
So actually goes for the demo right there instead of the defense that almost came to really wreak havoc on the Knights' chances of taking down this game number 1. Maple Bacon was the only one with boost for quite a while, immediately got taken off, and the boost battle definitely winning, kind of a battle of attrition, a weird hit right there. Gonna have to play this one 5 seconds outside of overtime. Calabaster trying something as well. I have a feeling we're going to overtime.
Spoon with maybe one last effort. They're going to send Collabster, and yeah. So we had 2 goals in about the first 57 or seconds or so there, Tugboat. And since then, it's been nada. Maple Bacon has to take a heck of a hit off his own backboard, but the defense wasn't there to follow up. It was a dangerous call, and they get punished for it.
How interesting. The UCF Knights offense existed in 12 seconds, right? The first 6 seconds of this game, and then the first 6 seconds of overtime, Monkey Man. Just getting it done off a kickoff. That's right. I mean, they literally played 4 minutes and 54 seconds of like a couple of attempted shots, right? But nothing like really registering, and nothing like ringing off the top of the Carleton and making them have to come back and really like, you know, respect one individual shooter or something like this, right? It all just happened off a kickoff, and it's hard to kind of recreate that like consistently throughout games, but it's also like, don't try and fix it if it ain't broke, Monkey Man.
That's very true. And I feel like that's also the 2 weakest moments for the defense out of Carleton. Even though there was several times that we were starting to see some weakening out of Carleton, when they didn't have any boost, they were having to cycle back in. They were communicating. They were there. Those kickoffs, though, are a vulnerable state of mind and a state of being, obviously showcasing that it just takes just six from off of the initial faceoff to eventually get a score. The Knights, I don't know how often they're going to be able to multiply that unless they just keep getting several kickoff goals in a row, and then eventually it's just a mountain of goals thereafter.
It's tough to recreate because right now I can guarantee you that's what Carleton is talking about here, right? If they just cleaned up their kickoffs, right, like a little bit, at the least it'd be overtime. At the best, if they clean this up and just like eliminate those mistakes, that'd be a 1-0 game, and we would have gone to this game too a lot sooner.
Oh, we'll see how much of that continues to be supplied, because Carleton Ravens, they've looked pretty good of finding overall kind of upfield connections. Where they end up just kind of being slammed shut with the door to the beak is when they find those corners. You're gonna see Spoon tracking super, and this ball, that was huge. Maybe a moment to come upfield, but Collabster mishandles the approach.
Catch to Lucas in the corner. Lucas trying to get around, gets around one, almost gets around the second. Third comes up. Stout defense for the Carleton Ravens, not going to give one up early. Trying to transition a defense into an offense here on a shot attempt as Maple Bacon burns boost to try and get this ball into position. Maybe a little bit of a miscommunication there from Ravens players.
It's starting to feel like that, especially you're starting to see the experience difference between what they saw in the fall versus what's happening now. And it's exactly this player that I wanted to start bringing up. Spoon with a heck of a find, making this challenge work, but it was Collabster that extended it. That was a 1-2-3.
Fantastic stuff. It really does not get much more clean than that. This is going to be a script. The coaching staff here for Carleton, fantastic job. Big shout out to them. Bear and Laser coaching staff for UCF Knights. We forgot that earlier, and I apologize.
No, they're the unsung heroes for any given program.
There you go.
Oh my goodness, but diving in, Lucas has been looking for these touches and chances. Catch from the ceiling, getting it right around Spoon, and they shut the drawer on their hand.
Yeah, it really does. Gonna sting right here, especially given, 15 seconds off a kickoff, maybe 12, whatever. Initial kickoff strats continuing on here for the UCF Knights after the Carleton Ravens were able to strike first.
Nice wide angle, and they're trying to do it again. Old Ironsides is gonging around Collabster, hoping to maybe just give a soft touch over to her teammate. And what a drill! Digging underneath catch. They assisted the first one. This time around, they just had to work off of a fantastic demo. That's catch getting that demo and then getting the finalizing goal.
Yes, sir. And it was the demo that really decided all of this. Lou drawing up the play, teammate putting it in. And at almost 30 seconds, I don't think we can call that a kickoff goal, right?
No. For once, I think that we can actually run outside of that particular timer. This one might be, though. Okay, Carlton trying to make their best Knights impression, cosplaying with a helmet on a bird. So as we're about to that 100-second mark, they've had some looks, they've had some chances, but it's been the Knights that have at least capitalized on chaos.
I think Ketch kind of like faking like he had a whole lot of boost and just did not want to use it yet. Well, it worked. Ball is on Carlton's side of the pitch right now. Fantastic hit, a shot attempt. Super catch, both kind of combining there and faking out at least one defender as far as who was going to try to make the play and get the angle. Maple Bacon, solid shot, and that's inside. We have another tied ball game.
You know, my wife calls me crazy when I don't wear a shirt while I'm making bacon because I just want to feel the sizzle in real time, both on the pan and on my chest. And that's exactly the kind of that you're getting with Maple Bacon. Great catch, great find, and we're now all tied up at 2.
Initial demo here to Maple Bacon from the side. If this is a little bit slower, would have been the flashiest passing play that resulted in a point so far today. Almost an own goal, but Maple Bacon coming up strong for the defense.
Oh, that was the same kind of error that gave it to it at the end of I guess 6 seconds into overtime, having to slam it off your own backboard just to have a chance. They're going to do the same thing, but this time they're going into Knights territory. The Academy squad seeing the Rampart under fire as a whole flock of Ravens begin to flap in. Collabster hoping to get to Spoon, but the Knights will intercept.
Bare miss right there, maybe actually giving this up and over to Maple Bacon, robbing the corner boosts right now, but the Knights get the other one. Down the middle now is Lucas trying to find something. Teammate just really throwing a wrench into the plans, but now a quick transition required from the UCF Knights, and that is what this team is made out of. Fantastic stuff, up and over, no! Spoon somehow twists, turns, and gets there. But not on the backside. Catch taking the lead for the UCF Knights for the first time in this game number 2. Look at that play from Spoon.
Oh, he was trying to toss it out to the corner. It's one of those where you're just aiming for a safety net. They got a demo to their corner man. I think that was Collabster. And then it was Maple Bacon that was sitting off into center, but he was right on top of them. They ended up in the exact same zone. This is going to parabola down. Collabster keeping that one close to the vest.
Gonna have to continue to make plays like that. Not gonna happen as Spoon finds another tying factor. I believe that's the seconds for Spoon right here, as Maple Bacon just plays like they're gonna get everything to themselves. Super. That's like the quintessential example, Monkey Man, of waiting to make a decision and a decision eventually making you, right? Like one way or the other, you got to split on that and try and play a ball, right? Given that you were trying to play across the middle, you're just opening yourself up for a nasty passing play resulting in a goal.
And what was very mindful of Spoon is that he's separated from Maple Bacon, knowing that Maple has had at least a plethora of touches that have gone upfield. And if he can just collect a great possession, he can be to the outside of the box. And when they crisscross, it lands straight on some treasure deep into the defensive half for the Knights. So Carleton Ravens have been keeping themselves close. They have not found a lead just yet. 3-3 right now as they've been buried under some pressure, yet it's all tied up. Back pass, settling it to the top of the box. That's going to be a whiffy out from Lucas. Maple Bacon looking for a passing, or rather a settling shot. Spoon is going to call Collabster's number. He's very close, but the dunk is slow. It's there! Right under the top shelf.
Ravens right back with the lead like they never left. 47 seconds, and this game too is not done yet, but an electrifying one it has been. Leo Spoon was trying to come down, hit Super out of the way so he couldn't try and make a play out of that one. I got no predictions coming in here, Monkey Man.
You know, I still don't. I have no idea how to settle any kind of Vegas odds. That's why I don't live over there. I know I'd lose all my money. 4-3, 40 seconds to go. Collabster is just going to keep this one pinned to the back third, and if that's exactly where the Ravens end up living for this latter 30 seconds, they might be able to find it. Super taking a very dangerous run to let that ball just slow roll. Everyone giving a lot of respect to the UCF defense, but now they got to be ready for their attack.
Almost enough for a side angle, taking advantage of the transition quickness. Is the UCF Knights trying to get an offense off of defense. They're down 1, now playing like it. Nice, got to get an offense right now and keep this ball aloft. Catch, not really winning the 50 right there, and Spoon easily feet planted, tires planted, whatever, onto the wall right there. Going to be able to make a play. Calabaster the side, Catch still keeping it aloft. Hit out to the outside, and that'll be game. Carleton Ravens take it by 1 in game number 2.
This is a team that has systematically really found massive success in the 1-2s and even 1-2-3s. Great passing overall. You see that out of the 3 passes shared across all Ravens. But UCF Knights, even though those assists are coming through zone play, they get it off of great mechanical influence, and they get players to bite, and they really weaponize the demos this game. You were talking about how we had really kind of no bets on and no real kind of predictions walking into this. It's 2 teams that are 0-2 right now in series play. Both have felt a 0-4, and then both teams have gone deep into a series. It was starting to look like UCF kind of fading and maybe only being influential in the start of early kickoffs. Now they finally at least showcase that they can do it in the long game at that point.
Yes, the long haul, and that's what these best of 7 series are made out of, right? Division 1, Division 2 within the NECC, all best of 7s, folks. Looking at this, it is so hard to pick out like what went wrong, right? And I'm going to pull one tiny thing from either team. I think the numbers really told the story there for the UCF Knights, right? Super 0 shots attempted. Obviously, the game can be wonky with how it defines these and awards them points wise, blah blah, whatever. But 4 from one teammate, 4 from the other, 0 from the third. Not ideal situations. A well-rounded Rocket League squad is frequently going to go forth and hold victory up at the end, and that's all I want to see out of the Knights if they're going to tie up the series or take a lead.
I mean, they definitely had Super much more into that third man position, and even I was starting to think that maybe it was only Maple Bacon and Spoon that were kind of doing the same dynamic duo contest against them on the Ravens side. But no, they got Collabster very much involved. It took a little bit slower play and definitely beating out from those upper back walls. As soon as they did, though, every one of the Ravens was finding great worth. Oh my goodness! And that gets a save! Catch is able to defend off of what was such a pretty and perfect passing play.
It's like a first base to second base pass right there. My goodness, couldn't have drawn it up straighter or faster if they tried. A banger off the backboard, and Maple Bacon is on the board for the Carleton Ravens. They have struck first in the previous game and now this game, and this offense is just looking so much cleaner.
They're like, you know what? All right, you don't like the passing play? How about just an air dribble? Let's bring this up, bring it down. I want to make one man miss, and I just have to keep my nose focused to the backboard. Flick it,
Whoa.
Stick it. No man accounted, and that's gonna be 2 up.
3 shots, 45 seconds with 2 goals. Maple Bacon is stamping their name on this game number 3. This is just mild mistakes from really catching Super off of the Knights Academy squad, right? Like these are not plays you can give up.
No, that's not. And I feel like obviously that was a 2-man rush. Sometimes you get a much better handle depending on how the second guy comes through. Oh, well, zinger!
And then the
All right.
same thing on the other side.
They're just trying to find where Maple Bacon is not.
There you go. Just pass and play, zone, man coverage, whatever. No, just wherever Maple Bacon is not. It sounds like a decent game plan. See how that continues on here. 2-1 within the first minute. We have as many scores in the first 50 seconds or so in this game as we did in an overtime game number 1.
And this Canadian group, I'm glad to see them really weaponizing what I know them for, and that's a lot of maple and some good old bacon. And apparently that's really going to be the flavor of the day, or at least here for game number 3. Spoon way back. I don't think you eat bacon with a spoon, but you also don't want to eat your words like that. Lucas just rushes down. That's an unfortunate moment for Spoon.
It is what it is. We all saw it. Yep. There's a million things you could do differently. Or not a million things. There's one thing you could have done differently. Oh, well, move on, go next. Great players are marked by being able to forget plays like that.
Yep. Yeah, you have a bazillion repetitions in Rocket League. Don't let that one get to you. We also saw the sparks off of the ball, so game engine. We'll see what happens next. Either way, at 3:30 on the clock, it has been 2 one way and 2 the next. Gotta wonder how much of that will continue. Spoon is gonna play this the long con, looking for a late 50 just off of the fake. Lucas is gonna boom this one away. Collabster doesn't have much in the way of boost. They're gonna have to go for that midfield, but Super, you asked them to come up, and they're trying their very best to keep their team upfield.
Absolutely, absolutely. Minute 45 into this one. Catch with an easy pickup hit. Actually gets beat to the top. Spoon is just coming so much faster than that. Almost got it done themselves. Fantastic stuff. Hey, one man shown's kind of reigning supreme as Maple Bacon with the hat trick.
Spoon slapping, trying to go just hammer time, thinking maybe even to get some physicality, but Maple Bacon just tells him, look, they shot exactly in this corner on our half of the pitch, and I am not going to be denied a third. Hat trick on the bird. I think birds always look cool if they tilt the hat a little bit.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It works for people, it works for birds. Just tilt it to the side just a little bit. Oh my God, catch! Fantastic stuff as UCF continues their domination off of kickoff. That says 13 seconds. It was less, 124 kilometers per hour on in. We're looking at our fastest goal of the day.
That is so darn quick. I don't think Knights can tilt the old armor, but I'm pretty sure there's some, it looks cool. Was that a planned fake out? The first man goes way upfield. They steal that front corner boost, and then they have the next man up take first touch. Interesting strats coming through as the Knights have the leniency to do so now with this game tied.
The demo across the middle might really spell things out off the corner and out. The tie-breaking factor possibly coming there is now an offense coming rocketing back the other way. A little bit of a back and forth between Super and Lucas as far as who's going to bring this ball out, but it's here. They can play the best they can. Side boost picked up right there. Nice takeaway, Calabaster. Teammate coming in for it, goes for the demo onto the defender, and there's just nobody for the Carleton Ravens on the other side. This is maybe thinking like a couple steps too far ahead, right?
Yeah, it's starting to feel like they're outthinking themselves, and as soon as you're doing that when Rocket League, I mean, we know how mechanical that a lot of these players like to be, and I love set-piece plays, but you can only do that so often before the telegraph comes through. Soft touch, slapped aside. Lucas saying, no thank you. Looking for the redirect, no! Hoping to get off Maple Bacon for a fourth, but it won't happen just yet, especially with his counterplay coming up. Lucas for an air dribble, trying for another dunk. Both these teams just letting it all hang loose.
Goodness, everybody with a shot right there. Hey, when you're traveling 1,000,000 miles an hour, a simple flick of that stick, a tiny little bit, will take you off angle quickly and easily, Monkey Man. That's what we were seeing right there. Everybody, all gas, no brakes. What do you mean stop moving?
No, this is a slippery floor, and they poured cornstarch and oil all over it, just making a skating rink. Lou looking for that negative angle as well, back to catch. Super is going to try and bring it to the corner. They gave their life and the rest of that boost to make it happen. Maple Bacon from off of their face ends up with a save because Lucas was screaming down, and we have had no chance, no pit stop, no rest for the Wicked or us. Less than a minute to go. Overtime barring us from the possibility of this regulation win. I don't know who's aiming to get it.
Down bottom, Super easy pickup here. Hits it on the second one with no boost. Still getting involved, making plays onto this ball with no boost to be spoken of. Kind of hanging out on the defensive side, and you kind of see a little bit of a change in the vibe of this UCF Knights squad. Maple Bacon trying to get it out to a player that unfortunately was not there. That would have been the easiest goal and a tie-breaking factor that may not have been undone in this game number 3.
Only key thing that we saw right now is that Collabster and Spoon kind of got a bit too close on their overall zone rotation, and so Spoon had to back up. They did reconvene. They're up in this pitch. Haven't been able to win a 50. Again, it's these negative angle from the UCF backboard attempts at passing it immediately to the nose of a Carleton Ravens player that's coming up. Not a lot of boost. They're just going to keep this away. It might be some monkey in the middle, and these Ravens are tossing ball as much as they can. Spoon is going to have something that's going to drift on target. Super will slap it aside. Overtime forthcoming, and the Knights got to feel good the way that they stood up in front of the Ravens there.
Hey, we got another overtime factor coming in for you guys. Best of 7 series, and a couple of them going down the way that y'all like. 7 seconds, so kickoff plays notwithstanding here for the UCF Knights. Lou just tries to get this away from the middle. That's on angle. No, it's not. Super somehow flips and gets a hit onto that one. And now it's a transition offense-defense here for the Carleton Ravens. Wow, the UCF Knights playing really far back here.
Yeah, I feel like they felt the threat late term of game number 3, and they also knew, all right, we don't have the same level of confidence that we did on our kickoff goals before. It's been Ravens that have been starter kit heavy and successful in the beginning of these. So now as they kind of settle in, they see themselves finding better opportunities upfield, but they will collaborate a little bit too much here in the midfield. Super with the takeaway, both on life and ball, trying for something off angle, but we go a minute in.
A great job there from Lucas, communicating with the teammate, hit the ground running on that one, and took a ball and started an offense where they just simply did not think this was coming. Calabaster a little bit farther in. I mean, it would have been, it's a shot, so I'm not going to say no, right? But there were 3 UCF players there. Oh my goodness, Calabaster and Bacon, the two-headed dragon that stands in front of the Carleton Ravens net.
Every single player in the Ravens got a save just now. Oh, what a save by Lucas. We have 4 saves in the last 7 seconds, 3 for the Ravens, trying to persist and resist under the sword of the Knights. Academy team, better watch out. It's coming in. Maple Bacon finds all 4 in game 3.
Hey, call that a double quadruple, something like that. 10 shots attempted and the hat trick for Maple Bacon, your MVP of this game number 3, hands down, Monkey Man, hands down. Insane stuff, insane stuff. Give me the numbers. I want to see them. I want to see them. Wow, look at that, dude.
God.
4 saves, 4 goals, 10 assists, 0 assists because you cannot assist that which has not scored, Monkey Man.
14 shots to 13. We had 27 shots. We had 13 saves between these two teams. We had a man just completely out of his mind going, look, this one, you just had to hang on. I'm pretty sure there is nothing but sweat and finger just grips now onto my chair because we didn't know when something would go through. The defense showing up for both sides, into regulation for the Knights, the beginning of overtime for the Ravens. Chaos to be able to bring that kind of offense alive in that game.
Chaotic offense, chaotic defense. Everything about that game 3 was chaotic. Now that's the 3rd game in a row here decided by single scores. 2 of them going on it into overtime. Now this one and the previous one. Well, wait. Carleton Ravens won. Sorry.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
that was Maple Bacon with all 4. Sorry. My goodness. I didn't write it down on the paper, so it wasn't real to me yet. 4-3 wins in back-to-back overtime situations. Again, no prediction whatsoever other than this is going the series, is going the distance. Going to game 7 right here. I think the UCF Knights are going to pick up what they did wrong in the previous couple of games, take down another one.
This is 2 teams that, one is going to go 0-3. One is going to go 1-2. But 2 teams that are needing and wanting and fighting for that win. They need to stabilize this season, knowing what it means going into late term of the spring and how those playoffs will be either fruitful or non-existent. Gotta be able to really kind of have your gut check moment here. Lucas has been a demon to the back of this net. It's just about how the Knights can weaponize him, getting those extra opportunities and moments.
Super true. Super true. Like, if you're just boiling it down to the numbers here, as we slow down a little bit of offense here, the UCF Knights have dedicated a lot and aren't even really trying to get this ball like super out of their net yet. I mean, they haven't even left like their box in quite a while. Nobody on the corner here. Finally gets out to mid pitch. Sorry. So 0-3, just the mathematical difficulties that come with spending just under half of your matches as losses in the beginning obviously yields a situation where you pretty much have to go 4-0 in the second half, Monkey Man, to guarantee, or not even guaranteeing, to make a statement, to make an argument for your team deserving to be in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's a tough draw. You got to make sure that, because I think 3-4, 4-3. If you end up in that 3-4 and 2-5 conversation. It is so tough, and obviously these are a couple programs that have been very deep into several previous NECC seasons, and I think the one thing that we're really missing right now in the beginning of this game number 4, we haven't seen it. It's very apparent. It's pretty obvious. There's no scoring, and I feel like is that a measure of how tight the Knights are playing their defense? Oh my goodness!
The dual demo right there is indicative of how the rest of this Game 4 is going. You can basically see the comms from this coaching staff, both Carleton Ravens, UCF Knights. They basically just said, slow this down a little bit more when you're on offense. Actually try to formulate these passing plays a little bit more, Monkey Man. I mean, we've seen amazing hard and heavy and just like snap passes, specifically that attempt for the Carleton Ravens to turn into a goal on the second play from game number 3 right there. But just slow it down a little bit because both teams were making like these really small mistakes that were yielding in really high scoring games.
They really were. And now it's just kind of been these longer clearances. You talk about how this game has actually kind of slowed down. Everything was so breakneck speed. I wonder if this is actually just regular moderate pace, because we were only going as fast as basically the just deluge at that point. Oh, a nice follow-up there by Catch, but it's going to be at least a bouncer here by Maple Bacon. Collabster has changed cars, changed aesthetics, maybe changing the vibe after getting at least a couple wins after surrendering that first game loss, aiming for a 50-50, trying to bump Super out of the way. They do so, but that wasn't really communicated to their teammates, and that's just through the uprights. Lucas, he'll finally break the stalemate.
They talk about great teams taking advantage of mistakes. I gotta say, like, the UCF Knights have been committing mistakes, but they're not getting scored on because of it, right? Yep. You could, this is the same, like, vein, the same, like, family of conversation when you're talking about the kickoff goals, right? The Carleton Ravens have led up that allowed a situation where there are one-score games 3 times in a row. Now, kickoff was a little bit less definitive in game number 3 right here, but this is a situation where you cannot continue to make mistakes, and I said that the UCF Knights weren't getting punished for their mistakes. Well, how about everybody bite, like literally 2 different players, Catch and Super, both biting onto Maple Bacon right there, which kind of does make sense. The Texas hat trick in the previous game.
Yeah, it's got at least an extra stack. I'm pretty sure he's trying to hat stack if possible. But and as soon as you have one, you end up having 3. That the power of 3 is very real. So that third one is gonna have to be scored between these 2 squads. Maple Bacon over the top of one, setting up another. It's a dump. Oh, trying to get it to Spoon. He actually had it directly on target, and Spoon was aiming for the finisher. But great defense and a lot of bars to have to still get through. Collapster with a massive demo, and the Ravens just aren't going away.
Yeah, I think that was Spoon right there. Once they saw the demo, they're kind of like, oh, wait, hang on. So this area is open. I need to get over there. And again, maybe a little bit of a split decision type situation. Super gets it out to Lucas. Lucas, I mean, just tries to put it up there. Super tries to take out the defender here. Slow transition into offense here. Oh, my goodness. The fake. Was this actually a fake or a ball that the offender wasn't really able to take from Calabaster regardless? Oh no, Spoon actually does. Oh, that's right off the front. Sorry.
Yeah, that was a quick flip reset out of Collabster, and then Spoon doinking the crap out of it. That thing just boinged. That's the best kind of bounce you get off of your best friend's trampoline in his backyard, and you just feel like, okay, this could have either broken my legs or I'm going to the moon. That one did the latter and gave the Ravens this lead.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. We have not seen a more than 1-score lead for the Carleton Ravens so far in this series. Again, just indicative of just how close this game is. 45 seconds to go here, Monkey Man. Are we seeing another overtime?
Knights have struggled to get their offense moving late, but if they can be able to power flick it here, might have a chance. Of course, Maple Bacon is going to be standing strong. They've got to find something before around that 15-second mark, because math starts finding it to be very difficult, and so do the Ravens as their defense often gets strong. They either have to force some amazing mechanics to come out, which we know they can, or they simply got to force the Ravens to make mistakes.
Knights only have possession right now because of some fantastic air dribbling from Lou earlier. I mean, they barely even got to their side of the pitch. They're still maintaining possession. Shot attempted. Calabaster's got a... Is this Calabaster?
Collabster?
Collabster?
It's a collaboration of letters. Yeah.
Yes, it is. That it is. Okay, just grounds it out right here. Ravens taking a 3-1 lead in this series here, Monkey Man. The Knights not able to find a tying factor again and push this to yet another overtime.
Maybe it is a Calabaster and he just forgot a vowel. I don't know. Someone can let me know.
Oh no, you're right. No, there's no A after the B, is there?
Yeah, but like, what if it's a hidden A? You know how people like use X's for A's sometimes. You know, it's hidden between the the B and the. We'll figure it out. That's a bit of BS from me as well. So, but that's now match point. Carleton Ravens. We have 2 of the 4 that have been played went to overtime. The very start. and then right in the middle of them. So now as they find that counterplay and attack, it's been a little bit better out of the Knights, but it feels like something is still kind of amiss. Playing drop zone, hoping to chase after that ball, working from the perimeter, but it's so much more pinpoint accurate and on player for the way the Ravens want to get those passing plays to work.
Yeah, and if there's one aspect of either of these teams is just improved categorically since the very beginning. I mean, the Knights have been consistently getting pressure off a kickoff. They've gotten goals from multiple times, but there's one thing that has improved throughout this. It's got to be the Ravens passing plays, right? I mean, the smoothest passing play we've seen so far was in that game number 2, I believe, and the initial shot didn't actually get in, but because of that pressure right there and because there wasn't some definitive clear afterwards, the second hit got in. And it's not always about the initial shot or even the initial pass sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes about how you kind of double layer it, because once those second and tertiary moments end, it's all reaction. Everything was set piece to that moment. Thereafter, it's all right, who's going to be the hero? Can you get your way out? And so far, that now is what the Knights have to be asking. How will they develop a way out? They're in the trenches, and it is at least double match point in favor of the Ravens before ultimately a Game 7 could manifest. Catch is going to call off Lucas, but no one's able to connect.
Yeah, both of them trying to get in position for it. Nope, it's just an easy flick play afterwards. Lou takes it off the top to perfect dribbling, and that is a dunk from Lou. UCF going up here and early. Yeah, like he doesn't even get touched. His ball has already left his car.
That's as simple as that. And that's honestly how we've seen a multitude of the Knights' goals happen. They just power flick it, something nice and mechanical. That one just kind of as smooth as butter in stride. And Spoon was tracking a little close as he had to turn from his own near side. And unfortunately for the Ravens, they weren't able to take away that possession. If Lou gets chances like this in surplus, we're seeing a different ball game out of the Knights.
Ooh, nope, it's going to be Collabster getting this in for the tying factor. Both of these goals so far here in game number 5 just kind of coming down to individual performances and just realizing that a net is a little bit open, right?
Yeah, and that was also, I think you had one player that might have been super, couldn't quite tell, that went kind of across the net. I believe that the Knights were looking for them to actually collect that and at least bring it to the wall, and Collapser is just going to jump at that. So both players, both teams, simply picking up where it was left off. Ravens going to see a boomer come up, and really we've seen some fantastic improvement. Lucas with a challenge and a half, and Collapser makes sure this is a little bit more difficult from the outside.
That's a great job from Collapser, realizing the Spoon had primo position, not a whole lot of boost on the side wall right there. Obviously, getting there can be difficult. Just getting elevated can be difficult with little boost. Plays the ball, and it's a fantastic division of labor right there. The yields now in a Carleton Ravens offense. Something right there. Fantastic stuff. Spoon tries to get it to go, but it's Collapser off the rebound.
And you know what? Collabster is doing the one thing that every great teammate needs to do. Spoon had done so much work to just get this in a chance hole. A loose bouncing play from off of the post. Great reset from the ceiling just to be able to get that connection. And a right place, right time. Able to find another goal. And that's exactly where the Ravens now pick themselves up. The Knights have not been able to really kind of be as mindful as that. It's been kind of one touch and done type plays. Oh my goodness. They at least see Maple coming.
Yeah, I was wondering when this offensive player was going to get their show started. That was the beginning of it here, about 20 seconds outside of halftime. Catch. Oh, tries to stretch to it, and Spoon, no way would they have been able to get to it.
Trying to aim for a little bit of pitch and catch. Pitch and catch. Upfield. Still not finding the Ravens lacking. That's a double commit between Super and Lucas. No one there to immediately start digging that ball away from the wall. But at the halfway mark, you're on match point. You don't have to do too much more. And they're now getting a lot more of these passes. Collabster is going to go right back to it. So if you're the UCF Knights, you're taking this lull in the rotation, and you have to start communicating what is going to be the much more successful rotation to finally get upfield.
Spoon just kind of hanging out in the middle of the pitch right there for a while, Monkey Man, just like covering everything. Like, where are you sitting at? Where are you sitting at? I'm ready for you. Maple Bacon. Off the backboard, and nobody is there. Spoon's going to have to break space and time. Oh, Lou actually picks this up. I think that was on point. Didn't have to be played.
Yeah, he slapped that on. I mean, 'cause you did have one defender that had kind of moved onto the goal line, and Lucas had a big chance. Massive flip reset, by the way. Catch just a little bit too close. He was hoping to get there a step sooner than Spoon. Now they give it back to Super. Super lifts it over one. 50's off another, but it will go a much more favorable direction here for the Ravens. And the Ravens can play with some time here. Even if they give up a ball, they've been able to win some big OTs. Spoon. Oh, there's Collapser's just seen the gap where his teammates have presented a chance and has really shut it down for the Knights trying to do anything.
Yeah, I like that. Playing a real good middle position until Lou puts it on one net and catch on the other. That yields a middle ball, and Lou gets an easy one across the middle. I believe that's third shot attempted, second goal for Lou in this game, number 5. It had to come alive here for the Knights as they are on match point here, Monkey Man. We're back to a tight situation.
That was an awkward moment for Spoon. That right side, viewer's right side, his near side post is a dangerous one. I'd say if they start going to the war room and start talking about it, they may be like, okay, how deep you want to go back into that net when you rotate out, because it could be a different type of conversation if they can just kind of tighten that up. Less than a minute remaining. Maple Bacon is posted up like Spider-Man, but he's going to leave it to win out here in the form of Spoon. And oh my goodness! Forget about what you saw before. Spoon finds one.
There you go, the Green Goblin or somebody. One of Spider-Man's many rivals comes forth right here. And like, as soon as they see third player kind of evacuate out of there and try and get into an offensive stance, Spoon just reads this like a book and puts it across two.
Fantastic find, fantastic finish. The follow-up, they have to be even more, because Carleton Ravens have really begun elevating. They say a group of Ravens is a conspiracy. Well, they have been raising doubts for the Knights through and through. Maple Bacon will get the number. They're going to keep it to that corner, and that gives plenty of time for his teammates to get boost, and the setup for this defense could be the final run for UCF.
Nice kickoff shot there from Spoon. The time dwindling away. A double fake, and two different members of the UCF Knights cannot make contact here. Maple Bacon continuing to keep it on the offensive third. Knights have got to go the other way, and they got to do it right now. A little bit of a better angle from Spoon would have locked this up, but now we are in last bounce territory.
Trying to find a chance. It's going to roll to the corner. Super has to find it. They will at least move it upfield. Catch! Can he get underneath? No! There was just too much power, too much distance, and it will be a caw too far for the Knights to answer as the Carleton Ravens Red. They'll be finding their first series win of the season.
There you go. Well-rounded shots. 3 from Calabaster, 3 from Spoon, 2 from Maple Bacon right there. That's what I'm talking about. Well-rounded. It was Maple Bacon with 4 in a single game. Every single goal in that. I believe that was game number 3 right there that they were able to take down. It was just Maple Bacon all the time. Well-rounded approaches here. Carleton Ravens improved to 1 and 2. And as we were talking about earlier, Monkey Man, that just makes any kind of postseason look a whole lot better.
Oh, yeah. 1 and 2 is going to be a great starter kit. They had a very tough first week then when they went down in game number 7, but this is a way to bounce back, especially. Well, it's probably even tougher. You get 4-0'd, and you're like, all right, is this the kind of spring semester that we're going to have? No. They take it against UCF, which is kind of a perennial program, and UCF, the academy, they're going to be at 0-3, looking for a chance to improve, and we'll see how that one goes for Division II. But we're taking a short break. We've got another best of 7. This one is going to be D1 Tactics. It's going to be some St. Clair versus Concord. We'll see you right after this break.
Oh man, this is incredible.
Oh, wow.
Huh?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. Hey man, grab me a meat stick. I think I can reach it if I just a little more. Just let me go a little. I can't. Just a little more. I almost got it. Careful! Oh God! No, come on, just reach. Reach.
Just
Grab my hand. I can't hold. Grab my hand.
give me the meat stick. This other hand's closer. The one with the stick is... Oh!
Go on myself. I'm cold steel stainless. My glass half full. Always said don't suffer no fools. Serpent daydream. I bite, you call me lovely. Got a sweet tooth. Gonna get the sugar from you. When they say I'm a machine gun, I take it as a compliment. Honey, you should know I can be a weapon. I can be a weapon. Come cold blood, selfish. Your words are painless. I like when I drive and feel so dangerous. They say I'm a red flag, 'cause they want it so bad. You should know I'm holding on to what I have. When they say I'm a machine gun, I take it as a compliment. Honey, you should know I can be a weapon. I can be a weapon.
One, two, three, four. Oh yeah. Oh man, would you look at me? You're just another one hit wonder. That's what everyone sees. Ain't it funny how you wanna be the best, but you can't even get up and get dressed? Wasted, face it. You're never gonna make it. Rockstar, you won't get far. And I know you're confused. People tell you you can be anything you wanna be. Wanna go to outer space, superhero in the streets. Oh man, what a lie, what a time to be alive. How have I survived? Life's a battlefield, 1974. I think I'm going insane. I'm feeling crazy. Can't get it out of my head. Oh no, if the devil inside takes hold, then I just might wind up dead. Wasted, face it. You're never gonna be the one. Rockstar, you won't get far, but at least you had fun. People tell you you can be anything you wanna be, a king or a queen, as long as you got a dream. Oh no, it's a lie. They just wanna take your life, try to tell you it's a battlefield. People tell you you can be anything you wanna be. Wanna go to outer space, superhero in the streets. Oh man, what a lie, what a time to be alive. How have I survived? Life's a battlefield, 1974. like I am. Well, I know you know that like it's colder, colder when I'm older, older than I am. And I know you know that I have lost composure, but I'll hold you closer while I can. I never told you that I'm slightly broken, that I might lose focus when I am. I know you know that life gets colder, colder when you're frozen over like I am. Nothing cuts quite like a memory. Especially when that.
Welcome back, everyone, to NECC. It's good old Rocket League evening time, so I hope your wonderful Thursday and all the cool that's hitting literally the entire United States does not freeze you like it did Detroit. Those cars are never moving ever again. I am still Hell Monkey Man alongside Tugboat. Tugboat, we had a great first match, and we still got a couple more.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. A fantastic match. All of them decided by one-score games in that 4-1 decided victory for the Carleton Ravens, then picking up their first W of the season, improving to 1-2. Unfortunately, UCF Knights dropping to ZM3, still looking for that first match. We'll be hopping into St. Clair Saints Green and Concord Esports in a second. I want to give shout-outs here. Of course, first and foremost, Chippy G4, that is our producer on the day, making our jobs as casters that much easier. Very much appreciative. As well as G Fuel. Yes, right here. Bang. Use code NECC20 to get a certain percentage off your order. I'll let you guess how much that might be. Winslow's Farms as well. Winslow's Farms, fantastic stuff. You see a lot of their, you've seen a lot of their real wonky marketing here. And wonky, I mean, in like, fun, different. That's exactly what I mean. We're talking about Winslow's Farms. Fun stuff, and delicious product as well.
Yeah, if you want to be able to have some of the best jerky on the planet while also falling down a hill, that's exactly who you go to, Winslow's Farm. Well, we're not going to be falling too far away from our next matchup. It's a D1 matchup, Group B, as the Mountain Lions out of Concord Esports, that is in Athens, West Virginia, are going to be coming in with Crispy, Helix, and CMOS. And then against them is going to be the St. Clair Saints, the green team, Jazzy, Peasy, and Arju. Now, here's what's up with this matchup. Both these teams faced off in the lower second round of the fall D1 playoffs, and it was the Mountain Lions of Concord that won 4-2 over the Saints. But since then, St. Clair, Saints Green, has been on a tear at the CRL level and on this level. They're 1-1, Concord at 2-0. This is a collision course and honestly a grudge match for both sides.
Oh, absolutely. There's no lack of history between these two teams, my friend. One of these teams trying to stay perfect on the season, right? Concord Esports 3-0. Maybe, recreate a little something they had going from last season. But the St. Clair Saints Green, you said it best, right? A 7-0 run throughout the regular season, right?
Yeah, just magical kind of run. I mean, Concord also came up second, Jester Northwood Blue, who hasn't at this point in time in the highest peak of Collegiate Rocket League. St. Clair has already in the springtime won an open in the CRL. So they're trying to see if they can continue some of that level of success. They've been really hitting it with the big boys. Both these teams, I believe, are heavy competitors at the highest level of Collegiate Rocket League. And now it's up for the Saints to show it's not just flash in the pan at the beginning of the semester when maybe teams and programs aren't ready, and they can get a little bit of vengeance. Want to be able to take down Concord, and if they can, they did not share a division with them last semester. This time, they can settle the score early.
That's really where the big story here, I feel like, is that there was just a difference between where these two teams played, right? Well, that's over with, and these two teams going forth to do battle for the first time, possibly the first time, right? Postseason, who knows? Both of these two teams have put on fantastic performances in the past. They're from universities that provide some fantastic support to their esports teams, whatever it is, Rocket League here, or whatever esport students decide to go forth and participate in. And I'm very, very excited for this best of 7. Division 1 as well. It doesn't get more hard and heavy than this one, Monkey Man.
That's very true. This is our top level, and it feels like we're also having kind of the European invasion at times over here in North American. Great collegiate esports overall, as you have kind of a huge mix-up of St. Clair players. I mean, Jazzy, Arju, and PZ, they're all from separate ways and works of life over in Europe. And then you see the same thing with Concord. Helix, kind of the lone statesman that's sticking with us. We've got another best of 7, y'all. Try to get live and loud. Can Concord stay perfect? Can St. Clair put a blemish on that record?
Oh, yes. Yeah, this is the U.S. versus Canada pitch match that you've been looking for today, right? There's another one starting around right now, but everyone's watching this one, right?
Yeah, this one's not quite 3 fist fights in the first 10 seconds, 4 Nations style. Seeing if maybe some of that still comes through, as it's going to be PZ that ends up with at least a great first touch. St. Clair, the way that they bury people under offense can be studied, but Concord is the ones that wants to be the professors on how to do it better.
Oh yes, the greatest Gorbachev impression. We will bury you. Nothing happening so far. No goals getting buried into the net thus far. 45 seconds into this one, as Concord now possibly starting their first real offense of this match.
Ooh, the over-under.
Great start.
That one's over the top of Arju, but Arju is, is sticking backwards, seeing both their teammates here for the Saints, going up for that offensive stint. Not going to let it go at least too errantly. Concord kind of chilling for a second. Their backline has been attacked far more often, and really we've seen Saints kind of dominating total field control. Feels like Concord's biding their time.
Biding their time and trying to spend gold from straw here. Comes in, Arju looking a little dangerous for a while, but Concord Esports calm, cool, and collected in their defense. It is technically on their side, but something tells me, oh, excuse me, I thought PC was going to have a much easier way going into this one now. PC from Jazzy here. Arju wins the 50. A slow roller tries to take out the defender, not going to matter.
It's a step so close. Both teams knowing that that first goal is going to be such a breakout moment. Really setting the tone early, but it's been St. Clair that's been running it down, and maybe this downhill sledding eventually is going to yield some pay dirt. Arju will be denied at the goal line, and it's a collision course of pinball for the Concord Mountain Lions to survive.
So that clear was just so impressive because you could tell that it was coordinated. If this is even like a fast roll across the middle, that's a goal every single time because every single member on the Concord defense had to make an effort onto this play. Now ball hoisted off to the right side. A little bit of pressure alleviated from St. Clair for a couple of seconds. But as it is, they nailed it perfectly onto their teammate's car, and that actually sent it off to the side, sent it off more so to our corner, where it can't be taken advantage of. Speaking of taking advantage of it, Simas takes this one 1 second outside of halftime, 1-0 lead for the Concord Esports squad.
The lone statesman on the side of Concord finding a way through. They win a fantastic 50 that went just skidding across the goal line, and Simas is going to be hurtling their way in. It was dealing with the intense weather of pressure that St. Clair was bringing to their door, but just like you mentioned, it was so impressive the way they were receiving it without really getting too flustered. PZ sees Arju ahead of him. Helix will be able to disrupt.
And Helix twisting up to that one. Simas, nice job. That's a dual demo across the middle, so a 2v2 for a couple of seconds as ball tries to make its way down the pitch. PZ to Jazzy. PZ again, down corner, and it is just outside.
Just outside and just enough. Concord continues to keep them not at arm's reach, maybe just within the elbow, having to kind of schmooze their way through as all of St. Clair continues to just lay way and melee at the goal line. Arju hoping that he can get something a little bit more boring from this perimeter play, and instead Concord is making it just look so clinical, even if they have to receive a multitude of shots. Oh, but they look for a great counterplay.
Crispy Dunn trying to fry one up. About 90 seconds left in this match. A little tipper, and Arju realizes, hey, don't touch that one again. It's landing true.
Arju just letting it hang out, and they actually came onto the backbone. That soft delay was just enough to get it away from both Simas and Helix. If it had gone straight on, I think Helix might have had a chance to kind of dive tackle at it, but since he kind of covertly covered, well, we cover up as we cover down 1-1.
PZ tries to get the rebound here. Shot awarded, save going for the way of Helix. Jazzy, similar situation. Puts it up there and immediately stifled. Concord trying to bring this one up now. Arju meets them there, and a 50 goes in the middle of the way of Concord Esports until the reverb comes. St. Clair trying to get something going a little bit lower, but they're not really in position to start their offensive drive.
Not just yet. Still, these quick midfield connections, if you're not ready for what St. Clair's putting, oh my goodness, then you're not going to be ready for that. Fantastic 90% of the ball in play. Crispy comes out with a shovel, looking like Stanley Yelnats, and now they just wait for the placement. Crispy does not let these through for free.
Not finding holes as easily here until the pass comes to Arju. Everybody on Concord Esports doing a fantastic job on defense, but this is just the result of just a machine gun, rapid fire shots, attempt after attempt from the St. Clair Saints as the flock do not give this up.
Two players went out to that corner boost, one on the initial challenge, and Crispy, he was like, you know what? I need something. This next attack is going to be the one that gets through. But because they did, that ended up being the hole big enough for Concord to finally let open. St. Clair Saints winning by volume. Concord has been trying to catch up by quality. Can they do so again? Helix puts a high hanger from the ceiling down, and 10 seconds will be quickly approaching here. Tugboat, they need to respond quick.
Yep, vibe change here coming from the Concord Esports. Jazzy knows if they can just keep it in this side, they will win. Loss of 10, loss of 1, all going to be the same on the record board. Ultimately, this ball gets grounded out, and the St. Clair Saints, the green team, take it down in 2-1 fashion. Another one-score difference here, Monkey Man. A little bit lower scoring, but perhaps that is kind of indicated by, again, we see here double digits, the flurry of scoring attempts there from the St. Clair Saints, as 11 total shots. Also, I Googled it, Monkey Man, I Googled it. A group of Saints is called a communion of Saints. We were talking about like a murder of crows, a conspiracy of ravens earlier, a communion of Saints.
Okay, well, wait, what's a group of mountain lions called? It's not a pack, right? Okay, look, Google's off to the other monitor, y'all. We're gonna get very zoological out here. All right, what is it? What do we got?
Oh, Nope, I didn't even come close to typing it right. I didn't even come close to typing it right. Somebody in chat wants to Google that for me. I'm gonna try and do my job here. How about that one? A pack, maybe, something like that. Not 100% sure, but regardless, the St. Clair Saints. This was impressive, right? You can take this 11 shots and extrapolate that to just how much time of possession they had, right? And when they have in the offense here, and just constantly trying to score, all they need is that bare edge to go forth and just waste out time.
Yeah, that's very true. And also, a group of regular lions is called a pride. Apparently, a group of mountain lions is called a social. So, so they're trying to socialize. It's because apparently they're very solitary creatures. So if they're coming out, it's that introverted friend that finally is just kind of getting their social battery recharged by proximity, if you will.
Yeah, we'll see them. Now, we might see them again in 4 months, right? You see them in November, you might as well see, hey, have a happy 2026. Oh, wow, Arju. Dude, just playing pinball by the net right here as Concord Esports just does their best to hang on. PZ looks real dangerous right here, and he honestly does do a fantastic job for going from top to bottom right there, upside down as well. You'll notice, Monkey Man, to just try and get a handle onto this defense, try and do the best brick wall impersonation. It does not matter. 22 seconds in, St. Clair strikes first.
Arju, by the way, flashing the Renegade Cup Elite. Haven't seen that in a long time. So has a lot of experience to be brought up here into this great game, and also has been doing it at the pro level all the way into the collegiate level, really strutting their stuff when they've come to North America to get some work done. They're going to make this off the catch, have a flip reset. It doesn't matter because they're going to get bopped and stopped, and that's going to be a slapper. Helix can bring it back to him, but you get knotted up.
Yep, I've got to say, this game, albeit faster, kind of ending out the same way. High-flying offenses, really just fast-moving players. They're trying to get into position. This is just takes advantage of a St. Clair squad that was two in the middle between an offense and defensive positions. Kind of like the stances they're trying to formulate up, going on to get whatever goal done.
Yeah, they've been structured very well. It feels like both these teams know that even if it was by intense numbers to really get through Concord, they've been able to equalize so many of these micro moments. And you would think that you would see all 6 cars collectively in that time, and that would seem so chaotic. But no, they're just like, okay, this is going to have to be that reaction that I find, and then they immediately run back out and find themselves another opportunity. And Concord is starting to feel like they need to press a lot more than they did in game number 1.
Some mental games coming through here as well. Multiple players trying fakes on multiple movements of ball. I gotta say, I love what I'm seeing so far. The mental 8D chess match.
That's what you got to do when you basically are in a United Nations of a fight. We have one German player, we have one Italian player, we have one Austrian player, an American. You also have a Lithuanian, and you've got English. Like everyone's trying to speak different languages. It's the Tower of Babel out here.
Let's hope you can speak them all. And how amazing is that? How indicative of that? Just how involved the team is, right?
Yeah.
How involved esports is. I think that's amazing. We'll talk about that more later. How about that? 15 seconds or so. The offense is trying to get something going. St. Clair not finding a way in edgewise on offense in any way easier as easy as they have earlier. My goodness, it hasn't even been long a day, Monkey Man.
Look, it's that sometimes why with all the vowels you put in the way. That's kind of matching up the defense that's been put in the way in the face of Concord and the Mountain Lions, because St. Clair, even though they've stayed back a lot more, you're seeing them ramp down, trying to ramp up into some at least better, more challenges. We spoke to, you very much pointed out that there's been a lot more fake outs. They've recognized that they can win more floor space by getting the Saints to second guess. And even when they do, that back third is so treacherous to have to wade through.
It really is. And the most interesting thing about the fakes game is, of course, when both teams stop faking attempts. My goodness. Peasy, I can't talk. My God. I pointed it out and then I just literally started not being able to talk. Peasy gets it done by themselves off the backboard right here, and defender can't get a handle onto it.
And that was also because Crispy, I think they were the last man on deck and about 10 feet deep in the net. They had to deal with a vertical weapon in Peasy that did not have or rather, it was Crispy that didn't have any boost. So he was ready to go into the squishy save just to get vertical. But because the shot came down so quick and was about dead center accuracy, he had nothing more that he could reach up with. So in the last 100 seconds, Concord has been all gas, no brakes, trying to find moments around St. Clair. It's a good mechanical play. But Arju's seen that one before.
Yes, they have. Yes, they have. Not to be deceived here by the flashy goings on. This nice, simple defense right there. Arju keeps this to a 2-1 game. Seamus trying to get over a couple. Crispy Don, that was a fantastic demo because Crispy Don was going to have a lane in. Like, this was going to be a clear angle and no real defense from the St. Clair Saints green squad. Looked like that takeaway was going to be something. There you go, finally. This seemed like it was a play that was formulating over the past, like, 25 seconds or so.
It took a long way. They had to travel some off-road moments. Just like whenever I have to get home and the main way is blocked, we're going straight into the trees. And apparently, if you can't see the forest for the trees, you're going to lose out.
Yeah.
Oh, the big whifty, the fake outs, both teams. You talk about the chess battle, 4D, we're all the way up to 5.
I love it. I love it. We're involving time. No, that's the fourth one. Not sure what the fifth one is. How about we stop putting my ignorance on display? Jazzy. Right there, solid attempt to double stout defense from the Concord Esports. They needed 2 players, they committed 2 players, and both quickly got back onto the ground. Now trying to just take this one away. Seamas gets there over 1. Helix tries for an assist, but that ball is just too slow, and Jazzy's able to pick it up.
Who's going to have a final possession that might pan out? It could be into overtime. Depends on how this demo does go through. Crispy gets at least rid of Arju, who has been a thorn in the side of the Mountain Lions. Big pickup. Peasy will find that demo. Helix actually ended up having a shot upon their death. This is upfield for Jazzy, just looking to give the Saints some space. Arju in the corner. Now it's a doink. Goes over to Helix. Flip reset. He's got Peasy on the mantle, but he's able to find defensive effort to the backboard. Third man comes through. Backboard play. Slowing it down. Looking for the double tap. Maybe even a double flip reset. Anyone and anywhere, but they just have to drop it in the box, and we go overtime.
Dude, an absolute masterclass of SSL strats and mechanical movements put on display there the last 20 seconds or so, folks. Everything in a bag of chips thrown. The kitchen sink and it all thrown into the offensive efforts to try and avoid this overtime situation.
Oh, early minute. I want to see how this one really kind of goes. This is good defensive communication and coordination by Concord. They've done that from game number 1 to 2. They don't want to see themselves fall in the 2-0 hole. It's never really safe, but it's also not comfy regardless if you know you can come back 30 seconds and more, and St. Clair is just kind of biding their time.
Yeah, if Jazzy hadn't got demoed there, they would have easily gotten into... Yeah, if Jazzy didn't get demoed there, none of this would have happened, right? I feel like so frequently... I mean, it's kind of like fights in hockey, right? People want to see the action, the violence, the back and forth, the demos here for Rocket League, right? And so, I feel like there's like kind of like that counter logic to it. A lot of people are like, oh, if you're demo chasing and stuff like that here, you're just trying to get in the minds of your opponents. That is not the case. If we watched that one again, then I'd have like a better ability to kind of like describe how it happened without watching. I think it'd be hard to really describe. So just take my word on it, clip it, watch it, whatever you want to. Let's look at the numbers, Monkey Man.
Well, what's better right now, I think that Concord doubled up their overall offensive output in terms of shots. They have 9 this time around, still only 1 short of what they put up in the Saints. They had 11 in game number 1, this time just 10. And really, it came down to having an early offense that existed. Some of that was really muted by the Mountain Lions in that first game. This time around, they wanted to set the tone. And you know what? It doesn't matter if there's the Tower Babel and all the languages or Super United Nations. You need interpreters. Ball don't lie, and you just have to connect.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, these players, as we know, do not necessarily get here by themselves. Again, we forgot it, Monkey Man. I want to give a shout out to the coaching staff here for the St. Clair Saints and the Concord Esports squad. That is Shuffleverse and Thermal Rex for the St. Clair Saints. Concord Esports, you're staring down the barrel of Time Splitter and Johnny Boy. Big stuff there, and obviously a part of the reason why these two squads have gotten to where they're at, Monkey Man.
Very true. These are deep programs. Concord has really kind of been on the rise in the last few years. St. Clair has really persisted as a fantastic collegiate program at every single level for a lot of different titles. So love being able to see the love for everyone on the staff. And, you know, they've definitely found themselves not just some gems in the rough, but some absolute treasure to shine. Might be able to break away with this one.
What?
Can't quite get it around the pipes.
Okay, so I think there might have been a confusion as to who on Concord Esports was going to take ball. Neither player can make a resolution upon it, and so neither player gets a goal. That is the deal that you make with playing a little more selfish Rocket League. I gotta say, that was wide open net. That's the only way to describe that in a Division I matchup.
Yeah, it was, but they still had to kind of floor chase it. Not exactly where these guys often live anymore. They're very much more vertically minded.
They're not stepping over each other, right? Like, then... I don't know. I'm not trying to be too negative. I'm sorry.
They try. They ball at every level. Sometimes it ends up just being right here at the pancake as CMOS. He was responsible for finding that overtime win off of a 1-2 connection, and we have very quickly gone through this first minute.
Yes, we have. Yes, we have. A little bit of scoring opportunity early, yielded nothing. They're going to be really glad that Concord player was back. Excuse me. Down bottom, coming out of nowhere, seemingly was Crispy Dodd, just hanging out in the back and bringing it up right here, down low. Good clear, but Jazzy should be able to hop on top of this and does. Meets 2-player up there and still wins possession.
Crispy has been on something defensively, but Arju offensively has been a bully, a nuisance. The guy that's always in the back line feels like he just never goes away. Single tap and a return to sender. Peasy knows that if he can't get it, Arju will.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 1-0 lead. Can't really call it early 90 seconds in, especially given the first goal has been scored under 60 so far. But regardless, going to be a lead here. The St. Clair Saints. Green Helix drawing up something by themselves and making that thing sing. I talk about a 1-0 lead for all of 12 seconds.
Helix for the spiral, catching on the nose and knowing he has to go way backside. He has Peasy basically stalled, and he looks like he's drifting into that near side post to cut the angle and cut the distance, but goes far behind him. That is a very calculated moment, and he comes up defensively sound to make sure Arju doesn't find another one.
Down bottom, Jazzy gets it hit across their back. Seamus trying to do their best Helix impression, and Jazzy doesn't like the look. Says you don't do the voice right.
Just, you gotta sing sweetly to me. Not like that. Less than 3 minutes to go. Mountain Lions find a way to clap back, but it feels like St. Clair. This is looking eerily similar to game number 1. The key difference is that Concord has really met them in the midfield, but unfortunately for them, as the Saints are not lacking for offensive momentum. Arju from that outside corner hoping to get into Jazzy, but Helix has really come alive.
Yes, they have. Now possession, St. Clair. This was a really dangerous move to get this over to the teammate, or at least attempt it, and that, I cannot be surprised. This is this isn't a takeaway, this is a giveaway.
Look at this.
They didn't include it until about a second right before there, but yes, Crispy Don was just given this ball.
Yeah, he had a moment. And if you allow him that much space, especially, he's going to run away from that corner, and he's going to make a midfield pass of some kind. You saw the defender having to chase, I believe that was Jazzy, looking to at least work for a 50-50 in the sky right across that beeline. Oh, flip reset, and CMOS has been absolutely demonic, but Crispy will be denied at the gateway by Jazzy.
Oh, Arju did not, like, still had 4 tires on the ground, so if that angle had connected for Concord, that'd have been like, oh man, we just missed it. How about we still get it? All right, as it is, still 1 score differential. As we all know, 1 score difference, no real lead indeed in the great game of Rocket League.
Now we've had pretty much that all night long so far. D2, D1, not at all disappointing in the level that we're bringing right now with NECC. 100, minute and 45 rather. Arju looking for the double tap, can't quite read that angle, and now he goes for the second effort as Jazzy wants to just kind of sprint one in, a redirect, but they've at least double the numbers. Now in so doing, they have limited their ability to counterplay and get a clear. That's allowing Arju to kind of rally the troops. Jazzy and Peasy, they are kind of pre-positioning in a double stacked layer. This is going to come up. Peasy can't quite get back to it, so we're sub 80 seconds, and St. Clair is still wanting.
Yeah, and they are stretching this pitch really, really well right now. Now, if that Concord player had gotten there, there's only 1 defender on the backside, then obviously I'd be saying the opposite. But that is what's gonna happen. St. Clair has been stretching the field so much the past 60, 90 seconds or so. There's just somebody everywhere. Now, obviously, that like negates their maximum capability of getting something going on offense, on defense, but stretching this right here puts players in position to go forth, make plays, get goals. 2-2 game with 67 seconds left.
And especially when Concord had just finally got out of their own back half, you had numbers moving up into the midfield, and they bring it on high, and that's going to be a vulnerable moment for the Mountain Lions. Arju, soft toss. This is all about working back third space. If a St. Clair can just break down Concord, get them caged and the kitty just growling, then they're going to look for more chances. What a save. It's not going to get credited. Arju going to have another threat. Jazzy with a drop down. Can they slow this down? Keep Concord stuck in orange grass.
Arju burns everything just to try to get to this ball and maintain possession. Hey, we just saw an overtime earlier, and Concord likes the way that that one ended. Brought this to a 1-1 series, but 20 seconds we go. And maybe the last pitch change with this ball getting down the right side. Should be able to meet it in the middle. No, Peasy and the St. Clair Saints are still playing this spread out look. I'm not against it at all. This is yielded true several times, and Concord just simply covering a lot less surface area.
They might have one chance. It doesn't matter if it's just a limited opportunity. Are going to let this be pinned back. But St. Clair, they have denied Concord comfort. They've denied them the ability to break out of their own home. In fact, they came in, they sat on the couch and said, what's for dinner? Now, if you're the Mountain Lions, you've got to get away through the Saints. Arju to Peasy, redirect, backboard. Is Jazzy coming through? You betcha! What a save by Helix.
Yeah, double players there, doubled up on the defense was required. And again, it's not necessarily about double committing either. It's just how quickly you recover after that. Both players had 4 on the floor immediately ready to go and block another flurry of shots. St. Clair's got to get in the defensive side. This is foisted to the corner by Arju to try and buy his team a little bit of time. And then turns into a lot more than that. Peasy with a second hit as well as Jazzy feeds it off the nose. That one's a little bit too high, but where's it going to be fielded?
Ooh, wow, slapper. Now, if you're Concord, you've got to settle down because you've had one-touch offenses and everyone has had to retreat. You've been double stacking. You've been having one hand outside of 2 separate cars just to be able to kind of coordinate and get a defensive stop. Since then, now we move into a minute of overtime. They've not had a lot of resources, but they've got a chance. Oh, Crispy! One big counterattack, one big play. Concord win the day.
Crispy Dunn, you are a bad man and a ruthless boss. Look at this, dude. It's like screaming it in this angle. He's like cars going for beyond the wall, like beyond the corner right there. Barely taps it in. That is top right skis. And a fantastic job from Concord Esports. They do it in 3-2 fashion for the second time in a row, Monkey Man.
And the same amount of shots for St. Clair. Can't make it work off double digits. You have a lot of defense. Concord answering 6 of the 10 that were posted up out of the Saints. And they only go 1 short of what they actually had last time. And I've got to think that at least, 2 of those 8 came into that overtime minute. And the rest was just St. Clair trying to win floor space. It was a clinic, honestly, for a long time by St. Clair Saints Green. Concord rather, that was just uptick tempo in communication, knowing what they could do with less.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And at a certain point, you have to start asking, like, is this just a team built for overtime right here, right? Well, this is not the same thing that we have seen from, like, matches previously where teams are always coming, that was the UCF Knights, that are always coming forth and finding, like, a whole lot of off of kickoff, right? Maybe this is just a team that needs a little bit of pressure right there because it's happened twice against one of the best that are doing it in the Division One of the NECC. Now these two teams within the same group and will be playing each other, right? Regular season stuff. That's what we're watching right now. And it has been an absolutely electrifying. A 2-0 Concord squad coming into this one, trying to stay in perfect. A St. Clair Saints Green squad coming on in here and trying to stay above 500. They're trying to get above 500, excuse me.
Yeah, and this is also St. Clair. They're aiming for a bit of revenge. They've been looking great at the overall CRL level. As a team that obviously made the playoffs, they were 5-2 in the previous fall. And they know that they can play up. They won the the first open of CRL, and they've contended at the top. But can they continue to do that? And can they take out Concord? Because Concord, no matter how tough the task has been, they play for the long con. They play for the journey. CMOS is playing to be a bulldozer.
Love it. Lead blocker right there. We said it last week. The tailback position not dead. Or the fullback position, excuse me, not dead here, Monkey Man. Takes out the lead one with a demo and almost walks the dog all the way in. 50 seconds into this one, no scores on boards yet, though.
Can appreciate a good lead blocker. As small as I am, I was in fact a guard, and so I love a good trench warfare. So if that can happen more often, please let it happen. It's a big payoff. A double demo between CMOS and Jazzy. That will kind of thin out to the pack as only 4 of 6 exist. They go for some extra boost just to recharge. Arju's not going to be able to get back up to that ball. And we've been seeing a lot of up midfield swings. What a save out of Peasy. That was a bullet.
Perfectly positioned right there, and PC just dives for it. This is going to yield some damage that Concord has got to answer to. PC wins the 50 right here. Barju with a bouncing ball, and still getting there is Crispy Don. Both sides of the pitch showing up is Crispy Don.
Finally, triple-digit time into game number 4. Remember, Concord hoping to get to match point right now. Last time these two teams met, it was in the lower portion of the D1 playoffs. And this is a team that was taking them out in game 6. CMOS is the header of that entire effort.
My goodness, look at this, just doing a Rubik's Cube in front of them, right? You go, they're gonna go here, I'm gonna go here, tap it right off the backboard right there, gets it past 2, and they get nothing more than a front row seat to the first score in this game number 4.
No, I went and looked up what the 5th dimension is. You had 4th dimension of time. 5th dimension, it's parallel universe. So they're living in separate spaces. They're trying to do the old Doctor Strange moments when they have every other possibility but the one that makes it out. And CMOS, I mean, he's been Doctor Strange up on that top 90. Dude lives up there, must have portals the way he is able to get those shots around that curve.
Alternate dimensions have got to be against some kind of TOS, not just for Rocket League, but the NECC as well. Like supernatural assistance within your games. I don't know. I'll have to check the rulebook on that one, Monkey Man.
You know what? If they teach that at your school, I'd say it's just as long as you have it as a proper major. You know what? Sell it, send it, package it.
There you go.
I'll buy it.
University buff.
You know, that's a new way to get kids incentivized. You can move into other worlds. 2:15 to go. The world we live in right now is that Concord has that 1-goal lead. It has been 1 goal that's done the magic for each of these games literally all day today. I don't think we're fading from that at this moment.
Well, not yet. Slowed down offenses on both of these squads have marked the past 60 seconds of gameplay here, Monkey Man. And little switches in offense, really. You're gonna get awarded with it, but just St. Clair just seems like cool, calm, collected again, man. If that caused pressure, they're not showing it.
Yeah, this is they're trying to take on their best Jane Daniels moment, just smiling into the 4th quarter. Oh, clip across Arju, send it wide. You're gonna have Peasy and Jazzy see if they can connect between one another. Arju with a heck of a flip, but it was the defender, and Crispy has been so crispy defensively. They get Arju to come across, and now they're actually taking these back steps, a little bit of extra space afforded to St. Clair before they can ultimately gain more ground.
Arju taking this off the backboard and using momentum to get down to the other side of the pitch quickly. CMOS reads it like a book.
Uh-oh.
It's his favorite author. Another shot. Oh, I thought that was going to be another connection right there. It's a pass to Helix. Helix able to keep it on their side despite the efforts of 2 St. Clair Saints players.
We got a 1-0. We got 1 minute. We got Crispy that doesn't have any boost to adjust, but Arju still has to stay stock still just to respect it. And Helix will be going up into this corner. Arju trying to do all the work himself, and that may actually be kind of a folly. Peasy, a double tap chance. But again, with the second man coming in, Concord has been able to really see these longer telegraph plays, and the trickeration has been let out of the bag. They just got to keep the defense rocking to each player as they come up. Peasy with a pancake, can't quite connect.
It's a 1-0 as of right now. The offense has got to change their look for the St. Clair Saints. Throw it all into this one because, you know, again, loss of 2, loss of 1, all the same right here. Fantastic save from Simas. Simas, this game 4's only goal scorer. PZ down bottom. They quickly meet there and do a double duty on getting this ball cleared until Arju just easily takes it away off the back, but nobody is there for St. Clair.
I believe PZ went flying by off of that last touch by Arju. Extra effort, and you actually see right now, I don't know if it's because they thought there was a best of 5 or otherwise, or if they went to go change their car. Jazzy trying to maybe change the spirit, change the game, change it up. Only 3 shots, 7 saved, but just 3 shots by Concord, making the best out of very, very little.
As commentators, we always point out when the team that loses has more shots attempted. How about twice as many shots? And that's before we counted Jazzy, who had left, didn't have their numbers, again, probably changing car right there. I mean, it's always like a conversation of quality versus quantity. In general, in these evenly matched games here, you see teams put up generally the same numbers, but more than doubling up, maybe even tripling up or more, depending on what Jazzy had to contribute to that total shots there for the St. Clair Saints. You do not generally see that, and especially you don't see it, like, if you do see this, it's generally one player just completely popping off. No, 3 shots distributed as evenly as possible across those 3 players for the Concord Esports squad. Crazy stuff.
Yeah, and I feel like I didn't actually see who was assigned to. Was it Crispy that came up with 5 saves of the 7 as well? Dude has been a menace as a defender. And that's something that, you know, they say defense wins championships. Rocket League is often about having a fantastic offense to really just supplant your opponent there. But they're winning on both sides. Efficiency has been king, and that's maybe where the Mountain Lions will wear their crown. St. Clair, there's work to be done. Got to see if they can improve. They don't want to let another one slip by against Old Concord.
No, this is true. This is true. The social of Mountain Lions here getting it all done. Here in early, I mean, it might only be 1 score differences. Again, doesn't matter, right? Because right now, the St. Clair Saints are staring down the barrel of an unfamiliar situation for them, at least last season in the regular season, and that is match point and possibly a loss in a single game.
Trying to prove they can also completely do this at this NECC level. Helix got a fantastic handoff. Simas brought this head and shoulders and entire skyscrapers above everyone, and because of that demo, there was really no one to the back line. Helix with the finisher thereafter. This is a team in St. Clair that they lost to the new Eagles on the block in OC last week in a very frustrating game number 7, and this time around they were hoping to take on this rivalry. Well, that just haven't been able to really get beyond the Mountain Lions.
Simas just has this way of being like imperceptible to the camera. That's the word of the day, by the way, Monkey Man. Imperceptible,
I like it.
right? Imperceptible. Because I thought there was a defender like a little bit farther out to the right side. He was sitting at top left skis, right? Simas comes out of nowhere, gets the save. Concord maintains their lead. We haven't seen, I mean, even in the overtime games, as a result of the overtime games, I should say, we saw 5 total scores right here, 3 in the first and 1 in the fourth. Expect another low-scoring affair between these 2 squads unless St. Clair gets down late and then just gives up a lot in their efforts to try and bring it back.
It's one of those, the higher the level of the play, the much more technical it becomes late term in the series. You let it all hang loose, you kind of set the trend of how you want to play against the team, and then you really just start tightening up, and I feel like that's actually where St. Clair plays their worst. They would need to play even more, and Peasy's just going to have this one off of momentum. I think the defender was diving backwards, couldn't quite stop it completely, especially with this, I mean, just right off the hood.
Oh, Wow, yeah. I mean, so Crispy gets the block right there, and it may have stopped momentum for Bull, right? And that is still like an iffy call, right?
Yep.
But there's still another offender right behind that. So even if mild mistakes, blah blah, whatever, regardless, should probably a goal right there, and a well constructed one drawn up from the St. Clair Saints.
They need to do that again, reminding themselves that they can in fact score. They were shut out in game number 4. And as soon as you're able to at least get the one, now you start feeling a lot better. Oh my goodness, trying to just double Dutch dive and off of the crossbar. Oh, CMOS could have come away with another.
See if that's the way that this goes here. As PZ takes the skies, burns everything to get there, and will try to connect with the corner there and get refueled. Arju just walking the dog all the way through. Free real estate, even on the rebound there. PZ gets involved, and this ball just immediately transfers from dangerous situation on their own side of the pitch to now offensive pressure.
Ooh, but look at the booming clear. PZ finds it very swiftly. And they've actually been a great utility player. If it's the Arju game at times, they've been the one that's handing them off. What a bump, but a find nonetheless as they are tripled up. Helix is able to get that dig. He's been just as effective as Crispy defensively. 2 minutes to go. Still tied at 1 apiece. Game 6 is where these Saints fell before in the fall semester of the playoffs. Concord might have to do there again, depending on who finds maybe late-term regulation, but they've owned overtime thus far. The more seconds we go, the more it's Mountain Lions time.
Yeah, a 5th game here of these total. Both of those middle games, right? Games 2 and 3 go in the way of Concord. One took a little longer. The other one was rather quick, quiet, clean. And if you're Concord, a satisfying finish. Now we'll see 90 seconds into this one. Helix tries to dish it out to a teammate, barely gets there, but it's a weak offensive setup and immediately taken away. Solo defender back, and it's not going to matter when Arju sets up the pinch.
Floor pinches like this one are so rare, but when they hit, they're so sweet. This ball basically doesn't even spin after it found its way through. That's the way I ball, straight down the middle, and then it veers off to the right eventually. So, 2-1, St. Clair, they get through one-on-one somehow. Concord needing to bite back.
Yes, they do. PZ just trying to fight back on the other side of the pitch right there. It's foisted middle. That's just a little bit too high. Arju tries to make a play. And several shots low and slow down bottom, and all of them blocked away. 60 seconds.
Guys, he's just going to get a banger on target, and this is now going to start being St. Clair. Do they keep suppressing Concord, keeping them to that third? That's where they're strongest, or do they start spreading out? We talked about how that rotation favors that. Oh, and they get it off a defender. One of the greatest leads that we've seen so far. Only 2, but it might be enough.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now we see our first multi-score deficit as well. This has been kept, I mean, obviously, again, lower scoring, only a 0-1, for example, in game number 4 there, Monkey Man, but now a 2-score deficit here for the St. Clair Saints. Don't be surprised as well if this actually gets a little bit bigger as Concord continues to dedicate their time and game plan and just trying to make up this deficit as well. 1-score difference is a different story. You have something to defend there, right?
That's very true. You try to kind of just let loose, seeing if you can get anything affordable, and then you have another one that's rocketing up. That, oh my goodness! Just when you think they were going to get a ricochet, some kind of rebound that might give them a chance, Arju beams it. It goes away from CMOS and Jazzy with a driller.
Yeah, Arju couldn't have drawn that up any more perfectly as well. And honestly, for St. Clair, that's actually ideal, right? You take an extra 2 seconds to get the same result. Right now, their main enemy is, of course, this time, the sand in the hourglass. And again, Concord tries something off of kickoff that just doesn't happen, and this deficit gets a little larger.
If you're not here to watch the VOD of this game afterwards, you're going to be like, wow, St. Clair, man, they just beat the crap out. No, this is definitely some trash time. This is some late time, but it's also Concord recognizing they can't play much for the counter as they've been so effective from now midfield into setting up a lot more directly at the goal line of St. Clair. But you know what? This is the bounce back game that St. Clair Saints Green needed to get a chance in this series. They're going to be going to the penultimate as they go to game number 6. Can they right the wrongs of last season? That's a great first step to do so.
Yeah, so the ease with which to go from 2 to 3 to a tied series is so much freaking easier than it is to go up being down from 1-3, right? This is a situation you've just been in. Take a look at the numbers right here, and finally, these shots attempted make a little bit more sense, Monkey Man.
Yeah, we've seen St. Clair outpacing Concord offensively at least in terms of at least rocketing the ball off of the old irons and sending it into a player that has to stop it. Over the course of every single game, they have been outshot every single game. Yet, when you look at that series score, it is still Concord that holds themselves head and shoulders, well, maybe now just ahead of the Saints.
Yep.
One more game. Gentlemen's reverse sweep could be online.
Yes, absolutely. Like trading one there, but then ultimately bringing it back a lot of games in a row here, folks. The keys to success here for the St. Clair Saints: keep up with the just absolute bombardment of shots, man. Like obviously Rocket League can kind of be weird about what it registers sometimes, but the numbers ring true in this situation. And again, this is equaling out to just the amount of time that the St. Clair Saints take the last 60 seconds or so of that game number 5, throw those stats out the window, and then look at all the rest of them. And again, it's going to be very, very accurate to where this is. And the St. Clair has been managing to just overwhelmingly monster down on this time of possession and have this ability to just possess the ball. And when you're possessing the ball, it's not going to go and roll back the other one. Not in Division 1 here, Monkey Man.
No, it's not to the same degree that it stays on the ground, but it almost feels kind of like what would it be? The double tight end and bringing the fullback in style of play versus, doing stuff like that. And sometimes you just hit as fast as you can. Speed ball off ricochet. CMOS knew he had a moment.
Yes, they did. Fantastic stuff there for Crispy Dunn, dishing it out and for an early lead. I'll let you know, guys, whenever Concord Esports has taken an early lead outside of the third game, right, that second overtime, they have gone forth to take it down in this series. Not speaking on the past.
We'll see if that continues to be some recent history, or maybe the new mystery of the Saints rewrites some of that, because they've been really good at setting up some of these front of the box midfield passing opportunities in that back third. But otherwise, Concord has been putting a man-to-man to get a lot of those reads. Now, because they do that, you have to play almost near perfect Rocket League to do so. A lot of usage of resources. You're going to get a massive save out of the CMOS. Helix is there to intercept, and they're just really trying to drag Arju away from both PZ and Jazzy and give his teammates time to rotate.
Yes, he is. And it's that quintessential time that top-level Rocket League players use to, drop some of the most interesting, beautiful plays that we see in general CRL and in NECC, all these leagues, right? Whenever the esports students are given the opportunity to go forth, spread their wings, they'll go forth and do amazing things. Happens every time. Solid pressure put on there from PZ. Now taking it off the backboard here and easily taken away from Crispy. There's the redirect, and inside, a solid dish to Concord Esports yields their first multi-score advantage here, Monkey Man.
There was a lot of faith by Arju. It was, I believe, Jazzy that had that first touch, and he thought that might drop a little bit lower and went instead to the backboard. And Helix put a hand up. He's like, yo, wall ball relay, hit me upfield, I got you. And if you're in the States, you know what that means.
Oh yes, a classic. Down low to the right-hand corner, forcing the hand of the defender there in CMOS. Again, CMOS has been an absolute tank on offense. Them showing up on defense's side as well. Crispy Don runs it down, anticipating a pass in from a teammate. I don't even think St. Clair anticipated them taking possession of that ball, Monkey Man.
No, not at all. They were like, okay, well, we should be able to pick this one up. Oh, all right, cool, never mind.
Okay, then. Yeah.
Yeah. Arju gets a massive pinch. We have seen St. Clair actually run up onto this offensive half with no plans. That is a different sort of vibe, different sort of feeling, because they always seem to have a triplicate of chances whenever they start moving. But they're flustered. Even after taking that first, the most recent 5-1, Concord with these two, it's like a mountain they have to climb.
Yeah, but it was, you and I both said it in the in-between shows. 5-1, that might as well have been a 3-1 right there. True. After it all, but it's confidence that you want to take from winning a game, but it's not confidence that you want to take from the deficit, right? From the actual difference. You mentioned it best. People would look at this without the VOD and be like, oh, 5-1, that was the big difference maker, and then kind of scratch their heads at the first 2.5 minutes of gameplay here, right?
Yep, they would definitely see this and kind of consider, all right, what really has changed? Well, Concord, even if they're kind of looks maxing when it comes to efficiency, they did that in the early game. Didn't have to rely on staying on their heels. They brought it out to the Saints. But the Saints have a chance. They put a step forward. They need to begin marching in.
Yeah, there's the beginning, the first step forward here to a comeback. Not just within this game, but again, folks, see those little dots at the top in this series. One score much, much easier to come back from. The rest of this match is going to be determined on how Concord Esports responds to this. Do you keep the same kind of gameplay that you've gone forth and has gotten you to this point? Do you kind of adopt more of something that we saw after the 2-0, which is not an abandonment of offensive pressure, but just a tiny bit less, a little bit more cheating back on the pitch to favor their defensive side? Because personally, I'm saying continue on to play your game plan, because that's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah, definitely so. I feel like this is a team that knows how to tighten up when it comes to defense. That's been their strength at this point, and then making use of the tiniest gaps and weaponizing a boomstick like you got in Crispy and CMOS. Every single player has had their chances to shine. With 99 seconds, that is going to be the one that apparently St. Clair has to deal with later on. He's got Jazzy across the box, and they've got a flipper! Whoa. Oh my goodness, Arju killing Crispy, and that opens up a gap.
Are you kidding me? That's what I'm saying right here. 7th shot attempted from Jazzy, by the way, folks. 7th shot attempted in this game. No, it's not in 3 minutes of overtime. There's 90 seconds left in regular time.
It took, 7 seconds after that previous score by Concord where they found St. Clair just a little bit behind. And what a way. They drew it up nicely. Both these teams have great set pieces from the kickoffs, and now St. Clair has to open up the playbook and let it fly if they intend to go to game number 7. Peasy is going to just see this one go over his head, and now becomes the long game. Concord can start spreading this pitch, and that makes things difficult for St. Clair.
Okay, yeah, I mean, St. Clair has done a fantastic job of spreading the pitch earlier, but now it's got to be, I feel like it's got to be a little bit more of a concentrated offense. Concord, definitely got to agree with you. They have to do something like this, because just an even-handed look, don't pour it all into offense. That's how you give up a lead. Don't give it all into defense, because 45 seconds of shot attempts from St. Clair Saints, that is the stuff that defense's nightmares are made out of.
Really is, but even so, they've seen one shot that actually had Peasy locking the last defender onto an island, but no man is an island. They have teammates around them in the form of mountain lions, be it a social or solo effort. 30 seconds to go. Crispy sees one. He's going to have that one flipped aside. A nice little redirect, and there's not a lot of boost for the Saints to really begin to press. They've got 20 seconds to go. There's not much time.
Down low, and it's not slow. Fantastic save there from Peasy. That definitely would have been the nail in the coffin here. Takeaways come and takeaways go. The last one's for Concord. Doubling up in the middle. Peasy can't quite get to it. Oh my goodness. Just turning on the e-brake and drifting into this one. Last opportunity. No! St. Clair goes down in 6.
It's a repeat of the fall playoffs for St. Clair and for Concord as they will come up. Jazzy has 8 shots. I am wondering about Peasy. Poor Peasy. It was not easy for him. They had to go high and try and drive that one down low. There was at least 2 or 3 separate times in that final minute of play where we were hearing a gong being run. It was the bell of defensive clinic there for Concord.
Yeah, fantastic stuff right there. As soon as they get the 2-lead score back, right, or 2-score lead back, excuse me, to go 3-1, and there's just an immediate answer out of St. Clair. It's oh man, I've seen this movie before. Did we read the same movie from Blockbuster here? No, Concord stands up. I absolutely love it. Fantastic stuff done from them, and they will improve that perfect 3-0 as well, Monkey Man.
A great way to do it. They're trying to really kind of find their footing, making sure that if any new challenger or old challenger comes in, it's going to be the same result. St. Clair, they're going to drop to 1-2, and there's a little bit of improvement to be done. But for a team like that, that's exactly the kind of program that will support them on their journey. And we're going to be supporting even more students and more talent on our journey as we go to a break. We've got one more match. It's going to be Nichols versus Champaign College in Div 3. More NECC Rocket League right after this.
Oh man, this is incredible.
Wow.
Huh?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. Hey man, grab me a meat stick. I think I can reach it if I just a little more. Just let me go a little. I can't. Just a little more. I almost got it. Careful! Oh God! No. Come on, just reach. Reach.
Just
Grab my hand. I can't hold it. Grab my hand.
give me the meat stick. This other hand's closer. The one with the stick is. Oh.
Welcome back, everyone. It is time for our final match of the evening. It's been a wild one so far. This wonderful week number 3. NECC is delivering and making sure that you guys get not just some great action, but some awesome stuff as well. Make sure you go over to Winsel's Farm. You can be able to get yourself some fantastic protein for your hike and maybe even a drink for it. Use code NECC20 with some good old G Fuel. So as you get your snacks, we'll keep eating some good Rocket League. It is Div 3 time as we've got Champlain College, the Beavers, coming up against the likes of the Bisons of Nichols.
Beavers versus Bisons. Yes, we're looking at the Nichols College Bison. 0-2 right now, unfortunately. Headed by Pyros, Ronnie, and Troy. This is their A squad, of course. Taking on Champlain 1-1 as of right now. And we're staring down the barrel of Solar, Yano, and Gok, I'm assuming?
Yeah,
Gok?
yeah. Let's go with Gok because like he might be gawking at the gameplay. Who knows?
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. Well, either way, both these teams, this is actually kind of a little bit of a mistell because Champlain, their one win that they have was actually a forfeiture. So it kind of feels like our earlier Div 2 matchup where both teams are definitely looking for kind of an assurance win, really getting themselves in a good position. I believe Alvernia kind of took down Nichols in a big way a week or so ago. So this is kind of bounce back moments for both teams. You know, they say a win's a win. I want a real win if I'm Champlain, and this actually could be a great chance to do that over Nichols.
There is, it's the same thing on paper. Yes, sure, for their record, whatnot, postseason stats, and everything else like this, right? It is not an opportunity to play against some of the best, and as we know, especially here at the NECC, Monkey Man, iron sharpens iron. These teams go forth, they play against great squads, fair competition, broadcasted here now, which we're very, very appreciative of, right? And also go forth and just simply get better and increase the division, right? Isn't that what any NECC team is ultimately trying to do? Get better enough to play in the Division 1?
Oh, yeah. Division 1 being the top of the rock, the pure elites that get up there. And, you know, even so, I do appreciate the journey, as well as some Hatsune Miku, action here with Solar. Something to be said about the Bisons out of Nichols College is that they had their fall semester. They were 7-0. When they were playing in the Northeast. Both these teams were in separate divisions, and unfortunately for them, they are now 0-2. So this has got to feel kind of like unknown territory since the end of last year. They definitely want to bounce back.
Yeah, similar situations. Similar situations in that they did not qualify for a postseason spot. There was not a whole lot of postseason to be talked about there from Champlain. Did not qualify by one single spot. So slightly better right now, even though, it's forfeit win regardless. Coming on in here into the Nichols College A squad. 0-0 as of right now. Couple of minor opportunities, really, as Riney comes flipping and turning into this one. Just started that one a little bit too early. Gawk, no boost to be spoken of. None necessary to get this ball decently centered till Pyros has something to say about it.
Iris is going to be one of those guys that I've been looking at. He actually does a lot of grinding into, I think, even kind of the streamer sphere. So I want to see if they continue to do that as well. Ronnie, I think they have a good mind as to what they want to do offensively. They've definitely seen some drop balls right now by Champlain. So if they can get ahead of that and be able to get a better connection, might be able to either get a good shot or maybe even feed it to a teammate. This is going to be a loose bouncing ball. Picked up by Pyros as Troy is ought to want to go and grab it, but Pyros continues on, setting it up. Can they knock it down? Oh, I think that might come through CMOS style.
Hey, almost. We saw what they could do earlier. We'll see if that kind of the inner spirit gets channeled here between these two. Pyros just tries to kick this to the corner, but that's a lot easier said than done as Troy takes it to the skies, tries to get it over, but Gawk has their own statements to be made. Second shot attempted, first one and first goal between these two teams in this best of 5.
Gawk with a good look. That one drops about mid to low side of the wall, and they can just chuck it right back to the ceiling. A fantastic chase down, and no one on the side of the Bisons were ready. So Nichols sees that one slammed on through, and we break our stalemate. Took a little bit. Both teams taking their time, trying to go sky high, and the bar will deny Ronnie.
I think Ronnie. Okay, well that was the bar. It looked like it was bouncing in afterwards, and Ronnie was just in bad position. Maybe even blocked his own shot after the initial hit, but unsure. No replay, doesn't matter. 2.5 minutes left in this game, number 1, as Ronnie just tries to make another play down bottom, gets nothing more than a skyward ball. Pyros makes a play though, as Nichols tries to get back in the offensive stance.
Champlain is really seeing Gawk kind of come through as kind of a playmaker. Oh, he's going to have to definitely be one. Ronnie again, kind of an early twist, and then upfield Solar with a smack.
Wow, yeah, so talk about transitioning defenses into offenses. Gawk gets a huge clear. This is just the difference in the clear game. Like, yes, it's a clear, it's also a pass, and that thing will ring true for Solar. 2-0 lead for Champlain.
All right, so Champlain making sure that we know how to say their name as well as, and then apparently that's for good reason. They're going to be looking for shots to land, and so far have done so against Nichols. And again, I think there was all of a single player that may have been traded around for this roster from the fall to the spring. And at this point, if they've had some kind of loose ball plays and they just haven't secured opportunities to take good shots. It could also be that first game kind of getting their way, you know?
That's fair. There's plenty of like first game jitters, just like coming in trying to see what it is. Well, no jitters here in Pyro's play. Fantastic stuff. 103 seconds as Nichols and the Bison bring it back to 1 off the fantastic efforts and just aerial acrobatics put on display by Pyros.
I love that they actually kind of delayed that next touch by spiraling backwards on that overall kind of cartwheel touch. Just seeing what they can do with it. And Ronnie had a look. If Gawk had not gotten to him, he might have been able to kind of quickly adjust, and we could have had a tied-up ball game in a hurry.
Gawk, I think, was just kind of pensive about like trying to see where exactly everybody was trying to shake out as this ball hit loft or was lofted skyward. Excuse me. Now it doesn't really matter because Champlain has their way of this ball. Offensive third as of right now. One player back. There's the second hit, and that's inside. 2-score differential achieved yet again by Champlain, as 2 shots attempted and 2 scores will be the spoils of war here for Solar.
Gawk has been involved in every single goal. 100% participation. They got the first one, and then the last 2 have been assisted. Not only did they have that shot that ultimately kind of went off Ronnie's face, but then he got the bump to unseat Ronnie. Might even be working for a 4th one here. And if this goes in, he will have, in fact, 4 total participation. It requires an extra effort by Pyros. It's going to be even bigger efforts by the Bisons of Nichols if they want to stop the Beavers and their dam that's been really set up strong.
Yes, it has. Strong as wood. As of right now, only found it in the inside once, and not going to find it again on that. Oh, excuse me, that's the other way around. Champlain has found it 3 times. Whatever. Gawk down bottom. Solar trying to pick this one up. Now, yeah, this is a wise decision. Just pick up boost, get back in the defensive stance, and try and maintain your lead now that it's 2.
30 seconds to go, and you know, you do, instead of a best of 7s where you got a couple games to give yourself that your footing, this first game is about it. And it feels like we've seen some great high-intensity shots. The velocity follow-up. Pyros as the 3rd man. You had the first pickup. Troy over to Ronnie. Ronnie just trying to at least plink something off of the pipeline. And Pyros, that's the extra risk you got to take.
And this kind of ended out better for Nichols regardless, because Solar had a play on the top ball, did not have anything, not even a sniff of the bottom ball right there. So back to a 1-score difference and 20 seconds to go.
Champlain's got to bide their time. Going to play this one as a much longer field. You get those long rotations. That's an overcommit. Now, Solar has a lot of work to do. Should be able to do it freely as both Gawk and company will yield on back. Solar has been such a fantastic utility player, and Yano's going to be right around Troy. They get up just high enough to force that one to the ground. And Champlain College, they'll take this first game, make sure they get themselves a series lead.
Let's see. We have gone through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep.
Several.
That's 11, 12 games. 12 games now, and only one of them has been decided by more than 1 score. But between the first 2 series and now this one. Crazy stuff. We'll see if that continues on as we take a look at the numbers here. Yeah, shots attempted, really not that much of a difference here. Nichols coming through on the defensive stance, so 6-2 right there, dominating the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, it was a 9-10 differential. I believe that Nichols had that extra shot chance, and I feel that there was definitely stuff not left on the field, but kind of left in the sky, if you will. There was definitely some aerial attempts that I just want to see cleaned up. Maybe a step too early, a step too with a little bit more punctuation. Maybe kind of giving yourself a moment of pause. Sometimes this game you go fast because you go slow. Now you don't want to do that for everything, but assuring a touch really should be the name of the game for the Bisons as they clean up that game going to game 2.
Yeah, and just cleaning up the edges like a little bit. This is a 1-score difference for a reason, and at the end of the day, team that didn't score as many goals, has shown that they can come forth and get it done right here. This is again another one score differential right here, and it's not like, oh, just put more shots up right here. It has really just been the taking advantage of mistakes that saw an early lead and an early victory here in this best of 5 series for Champlain.
It's crazy how our one that wasn't a 1 goal was 5-1 at the end, but was still so close to still being before garbage time kicked in. That 3-1 was so close. So everything been tight contest, and that's exactly what I want to see from all of our collegiate competitors. And we also want to see if a Nichols can not just present themselves offensively, but also be able to connect in much the same way. First 30 seconds, and the Bisons have moved the herd forward. Pyros, can they flip it in? That's Ronnie. That's what he's been lacking, and he's able to pick it up.
And this right here is exactly what Monkey Man means when he says by make it go fast by slowing it down. If Pyros comes flying in here, not only obviously is maintaining possession of ball a lot harder right here, but these Champlain defenders are going to respond to it so much quicker, right? Just get it down there. It's a nice, easy pass to Ronnie, and the first score in the lead going to Nichols College.
It puts you on such a weird island, this false sense of security, because you think, oh, it's going slow, we'll have plenty of time, and then suddenly, boom, you're hit with a Super MiG Twist 900. Things just couldn't be worse for you, and that's going to be the fastball that time by Ronnie. Getting that second effort. Pyros got pit maneuvered, so Troy will have to stand up, but they're going to be told to sit down.
Yeah, so Troy, timeout for a couple of seconds. They will be back. A dual effort on the defense right here. Kind of a little bit of pinch play. That's why this Nichols offense is now assuming here. That's exactly how you answer. So a block, a demo, and a shot attempted, all within the same movement.
Wow. I wish I could do any of that, or just chew gum and breathe and walk at the same time. I trip over myself, and they're just like, nah, that's a regular Thursday. So first minute and a half.
It's still one too many function, right?
I'm just hoping it's not a form of arthritis, man. I'm starting to feel like I can't use my hands properly.
Use or lose it. That's what they say about gaming skills, right, as you get a little bit older.
Yep. Mine are gone.
Science has said. I hear you. I have to wonder how much of it is just keep grinding, right? Use or lose it, like I was saying, and how much of it is just kind of accepting the stressors of time, right?
Old Hourglass beating me up. Yeah.
Undefeated. They are.
Well, and so far, both these teams not exactly feeling that capacity, but Champlain is down. We've seen a lot of kind of neutral ball, a lot of drifting this ball upfield, chasing the arc, not really able to do too much with it. And Nichols is giving the respect to Solar, considering how I think they got him twice last time, but he didn't have any boost for that effort. And now we're halfway.
No boost for the effort. Ronnie tries to get it to the middle. It was a fantastic attempt, but I don't think Nichols College members were just there. That's a tough angle. Pyros gets there a quarter second, maybe sooner. They have an angle, nothing doing, still 1-0 ball game.
Very mindful to try and sweep the wall, just put some level of a loose bouncer in front of the net. Again, they've been kind of keeping Troy into that third man-minded motion, seeing if Ronnie and Pyros can get the job done. Gawk has been very much silenced for the most part. Solar was hoping from something from the ceiling, and this is one of those games that can get away from you on the clock. Champlain, it's less than 2 minutes to go, but Nichols still has the one.
Oh, fantastic stuff, but no boost for Yano, and nobody on the other side. Solar trying to take it off the corner here. It comes back for boost. Wise decision, so resources replenished here for Champlain. Yano has a tough task ahead of him to get up to that one with maybe 12 boost. Still gets there. No goal awarded for Nichols. Pyros tries their hand, and a fast shot across the bow here for Nichols puts them in a much better position.
Seeing the third man duel a moment ago between Yano and Troy, and they are able to stop that. But as soon as they're put on this this goal line sideways and Pyros puts a ripper, well, that's a completely separate situation. I love watching goalie fights as much as the next guy, but when you put the first man up there, it is going to be a crazy difference of speed. 70 seconds approaching, and Nichols wants to pile it on.
Gawk getting it done on the defensive side of the ball there. He's going to have to see more of their offensive efforts here, Monkey Man, if they're to come back in the next 60.
Might threaten them. Yano's been much more omnipresent. But it's been all on the defensive half, and Pyros has been working so fluidly upfield, downfield, really upon that for that front half to keep Champlain in a rough spot. Oh my goodness, I talk about him, he comes through.
Pyros getting there at the very last second. A shutout is what is being pitched as of right now against Champlain. Plenty of opportunity, nothing doing so far. Down low as a save comes in for Solar. Gawk gonna pay the efforts with their existence for a couple of seconds. They're gonna be back in A-OK. 20 seconds, this is burn clock situation for Nichols.
If there was any extra pace on that ball, might have been able to sneak it backwards, but I don't think they're going to be sneaking anything behind the Bison. So that first game, it was definitely Champlain College that was ready. But Nichols, the herd has been moseying and moving back, right back into it. We're going to go from BO5 to BO3 land, all tied up before game number 3.
Down low, yeah, play as they might. Rule 0 respected, obviously, but cannot make 2 scores within our final situation. Nichols College strikes back here and boils this best of 5 down to essentially a best of 1. No shots attempted from Gawk. 5 saves, no shots attempted.
That is the opposite. Literally the 180. They took the script and just turned it upside down, and they're speaking tongues with the way that Gawk was playing the first game to this game. Chaos. That is a wild change up, and I did see that. Yes. Maybe I saw in the chat. Oh, Discord went down for us, so maybe the communication wasn't there. Right, not able to actuate and execute the same way they did before. Hopefully their voice comms come back up if that was an issue.
Oh yes, absolutely. Obviously, these are players who played with each other a whole lot in the past, but the active, in the moment. Voice comms 100% essential to set up a Rocket League team. See them go forth and get that one figured on out here. And excuse me, Champlain, I thought for a second I thought it was a Canadian team, so we were going to have like Canadian U.S. team every single time. No, they're from Vermont, right? I'm googling this correctly.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Good.
It's
good.
almost Canada. It's
almost.
Like
You're almost
like,
there.
Is that Diet Canada? I mean, there's a lot of retirement homes up that way. Very pretty. Very, very nice.
Very true. Beautiful, beautiful part of the country. See them representing their squad as well. 1-1, looking to improve to 2-1. And I just got to say, that looked like a much more doable situation when they won a 3-2 victory in Game 1. Now, not just a multi-score deficit, not just a tying factor for the other squad, but also a multi-score, right? Or not a multi-score, I said that. Excuse me, the shutout here. Nothing doing on their side.
That's very true. And you get the R's back. I think everyone's feeling good. And I didn't even realize we almost got a full-on Canada versus U.S. brawl through all 3 matches. I should have planned for that with all, the fact that we had, all the fist fights. Oh my goodness, the challenge, Troy! Trying to ruin them early as Nichols wants to keep up this beating.
Yeah, hey, a fantastic shout out to the Monkey Man himself. NECC is a fantastic organization that'll let the casters go forth and really look into the stats and decide, mostly, not 100%, right?
Oh!
Who exactly? Wow, Gawk! He heard what we said about the no shots. 34 seconds into this one. Meets Solar in the air for a little twisty right off the top right there, and it's a doink to the inside. Anyway, fantastic. Monkey Man, you have selected a fantastic trio of matches here on the night, and I want to give a shout out to you, sir.
You can't see right now, but I'm taking a bow, and well, maybe not a full bow. I didn't want to rub my forehead against the mic. My wife says I need to watch this thing. So either way, this has actually been a heck of a night so far, and I'm glad that we get a chance to really see a lot of perpetual talent that keeps coming in and out of the NECC's doors. Ronnie trying to be one of those big talents that continues to strike. He and Pyros were doing so well earlier, but definitely the missing man from last game, and Gawk. Defensively, he was there. Offensively, he's found his way through again.
Yeah, and I have to think about how much of this was a concerted shutdown effort from Nichols. Obviously, hitting the 2-0 is not easy, but also shutting down Gawk. Like you said, just categorical difference between Game 1 and Game 2. Ooh. It had to have been part of the game plan, but Yano strikes for the first time in this game, number 3. I believe Yano got one earlier, and Gawk continues on their 100% participation within goals. Yes, they didn't get any within Game 2. That keeps Gawk at 100%.
Because it was a shutout. That's the true statistic that Champlain's going for. Nothing else. They want Gawk to be involved. That's a crazy stat actually to keep up.
Is that the like perfect example of like the numbers don't lie but people do, right? like using it, right? Oh man.
The stat sheets look trying to cook the books the right way.
Yes,
Gok,
sir.
what can they continue to do, because this has been a influencing player, and that's actually something that Nichols can start to really kind of derive. If they can shut down Gok, turn this tough, then you can find a way. And Troy, now both quote unquote third men have found a way in. Yano and Troy on the board, and poor Yano.
Trust not Trojans and horses. Well, this was a gallop right down the middle, gifted on over after Champlain must have mistook him for a defender. Crazy stuff. Gok walked the dog all the way in, and that's going to be Solar with the cleanup here. So Nichols might celebrate, getting back to a single score, but it's off of kickoff plays right here and miscues that Champlain takes this one back.
And Gok's still good on that 50-50. He slowed it down and it didn't squirt anywhere. It stayed simply in the hexagons. And my man still got the 1-0-0 right above him. If I see that percent dip at all, I'm going to be sad. Oh, wait. No! I'm going to be sad!
That's illegal. Yeah, no. Fantastic stuff. Takes the dish off right here. This is a really dangerous back pass as well that Nichols was attempting, right?
I'm big sad. Yeah, it was rough. That actually, they were trying to get that pinch to find themselves a moment. And this is actually, I think, the biggest lead we've had of the night at this point on the clock.
Yes.
Oh, and it's about to
in
get
the first half, yeah.
Oh, I thought it was gonna get a little worse. Oh, Yano.
Close to it.
I mean, so at this point, though, we've actually seen, I think, the biggest change-up from that previous game, because they definitely identified that Gok was obviously has been mega involved. That game number 1 into number 2, Nichols had their number. Now, game number 3, who stood up? It's Yano. They were like, dude, don't stay on the back third. We need you. And apparently, this is why.
Yeah, I mean, Yano has absolutely shown up since their number has been called. Gok flipping, twisting, and turning, looking dangerous, but it's the cleanup from Solar yet again. Oh, Mr. Two's right here. 2 shots, 2 goals, 2 assists, and 2 saves. Solar getting it all done for the squad.
Solar is never too far away from Gok. He is that both trusty sidekick and sometimes the ace, and those two are just kind of the string of fate tying across them. If he sees what Gok's doing, he knows that work is going to get done, and he's going to have an amazing chance. But this one's going to go over the top.
Whoa.
It will hit crossbar.
Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. Champlain facing an unexpected offense and does almost the same exact thing. Well, I guess does do the same exact thing, right? By missing it. That's a shot on, and Pyros foists it past the defender to bring this back like a little bit. I mean, this is still a 3-score difference. It's definitely doable. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I've seen these deeper leads definitely fade. This is anything but over, especially with this amount of time. If we had about 30 seconds, I start to say, all right, maybe this will, with some extra, medication through meditation, maybe. But right now, Nichols has a chance. They just have to strike a lot faster. The difficulty is that they are finding a very apt Champlain College that's getting in their way. Big demo by Gok, and that's going to get rid of Troy, and he's going to find another one to keep Pyros at bay, but oh, man, he's definitely threatening.
Definitely threatening. Ronnie tries to go far post, just gets it a little bit too wide. Just a tiny, tiny bit out there. 2 solid shots for Nichols College to have brought this one back within 2.
Pyros over the top rope. He's going to have to beat through Solar. That means he gives a chance over to Troy. Troy a step late to try and receive that ball. That's just an honest shot, dead center. And Solar's going to give it an honest effort and a booming clear. 60 seconds to go. Things are going to need a little bit more cinema if Nichols intends to truly bring it back.
Yeah, Pyros kind of split the difference between a shot attempt right there and a pass. They're going to be bringing back possession for just a second, but now facing it against in their own defensive side, and now willing to just give up and play defense, play the clock here, Champlain College.
40 seconds out, and I mean, this was a lot of early work here by Champlain. Gok is going to over-rotate. I believe that was Solar, but it's for good measure because they go out and they fight to the top of the box. And Nichols, they recognize that they've had some late-term successes here and that they kind of gave up the GOAT a little bit too soon in the game number 3. So match point will be going over to Champlain. A great save, but Yano just plays it slow.
There you go. There's the hat trick for Yano as well. I believe on 3 attempts, if I read that one right. But this game number 3 has been almost out of reach for Nichols for a while, and now it is chronologically so. There's not enough time to score 4 times in 15 seconds. So game 3 going the way of Champlain College. And they'll be putting Nichols College on match point. Never mind, it goes 7-2, or maybe a further difference.
Maybe one more and we get to go to Barcelona. Good to see how that one travels. Oh, okay. And at this point, this is actually the greatest deficit that we've seen on the night. After a 5-1 earlier, we finally get to see a +5 game, depending on how this racks and stacks towards the end. So Nichols trying to maybe just match that, try not let this be the worse off for them. But if you're going to leave one behind, let it be this one. That lands at center line. Champlain, they land at match point time before we hit game 4.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's go ahead and take a look at the numbers. Yeah, so Champlain understandably dominating in the shots attempted. That's, excuse me, 12 versus 9 right there. And so a mild difference, but obviously, I mean, hat tricks on 2 different. This just got a little bit out of hand early right here. Kind of the same kind of situation we saw St. Clair Saints, Concord Esports in a 5-1 routing. I believe that was yes, that was the next to last game, game number 5.
Yeah, and looking at how this one completely turned around, there was, I think, 4 assists from Gok in this. I think actually he may have had a surplus of other, but he also had 4 shots this time instead of being locked to only being in the cage. 5 saves and 0 shots is not where Gok wants to live, but that's where Nichols needs to try and cage him up into here, Tugboat, because when they got out firing, well, it was all cylinders and it was all the time. They have to take the Beavers and they have to keep them upstream, and the Nichols Bisons got to get running downhill, and they've got to do it early. What we saw in those early connections between Ronnie and Pyros really were the plays that gave them a chance to win and then help shutting out the Beavers.
Yeah, and it feels more and more like beating Champlain revolves at least somewhat around shutting down Gawk. You said it best right there, right? The amount, until there was solo efforts by Solar and Yano, this previous 100% participation in goals does not happen by mistake. Down lower, yeah, Pirates has seen this story before, sends it flying way, way out of the reach of any Champlain College member.
This is also a team in their first week, hold that thought, as Troy will find on to that top 90. Put a pin in it and it'll sting for later. Ronnie just kind of works this one right off the pipes. Getting rid of Gok, you get rid of the main man. He'll open up a gap. But this is also a team in Champlain. They have lost 1 match. Obviously, they won last week off of a forfeiture, but the other one was a game 5. So knowing that they have the ability to play that hardy and a Nichols that's kind of fading after a perfect fall semester, this is a chance to really strike, but Nichols is biting back.
Absolutely. Only down by 1. Champlain hasn't really seen a massive real deficit outside of that game 2 shutout, of course. See how they continue on in this one because there's plenty of time left. Pass to the middle, up and over, but Pyros is going to pay for it. Solar, yeah, just turns his attention skyward for a couple of seconds. Ooh, that's a nasty roller, flipping for it and going to be able to get there. Fantastic stuff from Nichols, avoiding danger late.
They're still threatening. Solar and Yano going up for the double clutch love. Gok gets destroyed. And look at this. I mean, the hyper attentive for demos onto Gok. Gok just wants to play the game, dang it, and he's not being allowed to. So both Yano and Solar have to step up.
Hey, it's working so far, right? Troy, pass attempt, Ronnie. Yano standing up on the other side now. Yano picking up some big boosts along the way. Pyros with a takeaway right here. Got to get involved with the teammates do. If Nichols is to turn this into an extended offense that hopefully ultimately culminates with a goal. Slower plays down right there. The Nichols is going to win it for a second, but they haven't really turned in an honest shot attempt in 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's been a while. We've seen a lot of kind of up-field zone play with Nichols kind of dropping it on, but they've definitely kept Champlain from seeing anything upfield. They've really just been looking at bluegrass, and that's not in the Midwest. That's straight up in the Northeast. Can Pyros come down with it? Are you kidding me? Dude just flops off wall. New ball was dropping, and he's here to tap it in.
Ronnie, what a great job right here. And Pyros, dink, right there. Perfect. It doesn't have to be a million miles an hour. It just has to have the right angle. 3 minutes left in this one, and Nichols mounts another 2-0 lead. Now, if you're Champlain, how much are you thinking about that game 2 right now?
You're definitely like, all right, this is a repeat of the same. Shut down our dude. He has been able, or to enable, so much fantastic flair upfield. And now it wasn't even one-dimensional offensive. You've got Yano, who definitely came alive, Solar, who's been able to do the same. But the physical game has definitely outpaced them. This time, when they win that demo fight at midfield, Solar can get a ripper.
Yeah, and the sun will shine on Champlain College. Hey, it's sunny in Vermont. That's a fantastic job right there. I mean, this is the recognition of a mistake by Nichols College, but a hat tip over here to Champlain for realizing and turning it into a point on the board.
Nichols has their lead cut in half. And they survive out this latter half of game number 4 and work to go the distance. It'll be the second time in 3 weeks for Champlain to have to go that. And, you know, then those games 2 and maybe even this one starts to get a bit scarier for them. Solar is threatening onto the backside of Troy, but it's Pyros, who has been a sure-handed captain for this squad, is going to get a booming clear. He and Ronnie hoping to double up, take a clutch onto it, but look how this rotation of Champlain, not a lot of pace to it yet. They're at least finding this connection that's starting to get a little scary for both sides.
That's a little bit too far outside. That's so dangerous. And off of the respawn, Solar comes in, makes a solid play, and gets it past another one. Defense and offense now. Getting it up, getting it past one. Gawk is there and rolls it to the inside. That is how you blow a 2-0 lead.
Wonderful adjustment here by Solar. He actually goes outside ball, slams his face into it, and instead of taking a shot, Pyros cut the distance in between from off of that near side post. In so doing, sealed his fate. No one was there to stand their ground, and it was Gawk that was left with an open, honest moment. 98 seconds. Solar, it's not going to be the same play again this time.
No, it's not. Gawk getting taken off the field for just a second will now be in defensive stance. Comes up, block, demo, and a shot. But this is dangerous. Okay, yeah, Yano and the other player there just took a second for the camera to pan over.
And at minimum, Gawk has been demoed 4 times this game. Dude is living just second by second in the moment, and yet is still here. That's going to drop down. Pyros and the rest of Nichols low on boost, hoping to get their heads held high on the other side of the pitch. And a minute is approaching here. Tugboat, look at Gawk. Oh, he had to meet, I believe that was Troy in midfield space.
Down bottom, Yano initial hit, but it's just a little bit too hard. Gawk, though, okay, so a great job from Nichols. A lot of time, obviously, you don't want to make this ball go backwards, but Gawk was absolutely teeing up on this one. He had the club pulled behind his head and was already doing practice shots.
See if they could be able to move it down the fairway at least a little bit more. Familiar situation right now, especially as we're all tied up. This one going to go down to the wire. I don't think we've seen a major overtime as of yet. Did we have that early series? It doesn't matter, because Nichols doesn't want to have this one go anything but regulation and get to game number 5. Troy keeps it nearby, but we're 20 seconds permitting, and that's Solar. He's looking for his main man, Gawk on the outside corner.
A demo right there under Ronnie would have been what the doctor ordered, but without boost to get it done here, the starvation of resources by Nichols College of Champlain might have just then purchased themselves an overtime situation. A bouncing ball. Got to get it up. Wow, I thought, okay, it actually does before we actually strike 0. Ronnie opts not to hit this in our first overtime of this series doth start.
Bonus time. What does Nichols do? 2-0s are never safe, and that's where we are from that to 2-2. Champlain College, Gawk on the goal line. No one there to save, and he does it twice! Pyro sends us to game 5 after 2 big 50s.
Fantastic stuff. Pyro's down bottom and burns nothing in the tank to get there. Puts it right on the nose of Solar, and immediately this one gonna ring true. We're going to game number 5, Monkey Man.
You know what? It's the only one that we have that wasn't the D2, D1 best of 7s, and it's going to be going the distance. Champlain limited 4 shots to their entirety, a save apiece. It was a tight campaign. They had to come back from a 2-0 hole, and Nichols, they got shaken, but they were never stirred up the wrong way. Big flavor, and Ronnie with 3 assists, 100% participation across all the goals in that game for the Bison. Now, all bets are off. Everything is out the window, and we're down to a final game. It's it's the final, and it's game 5 for Champlain. They've seen this before. How much of that I guess first week history comes to ruin with the way Nichols was able to shut him down early?
I mean, like, if I'm Nichols, I want to think about the 2-0 in game 2, and I don't want to think about the 7-2 in game number 3. And it's the opposite is true right there. You said it best right there. All bets are off right here. A best-of-5 series boiled down to a best-of-3, boiled down to a one and done for a third and final match of today's broadcast on the NECC. Couldn't have it done. Couldn't have it figured out any other way. Monkey Man, I'm 100% here for it. Coming on down here, I talked a little bit about Nichols College earlier and what they need to do. That was shut down. Talk a little bit about Champlain right here. We saw their passing game come in early, and even if it didn't result in goals like every single time or anything crazy like that, it created pressure that Nichols just simply was not comfortable with. If they want to put on that same kind of pressure, pass this puck, or pass the ball, frequently in front of net, and just wait for Champlain to make a mistake, or wait for Nichols, to make a mistake.
It's gonna have to be this. I think that game plan actually works on both sides. I feel like there's been moments where they've isolated, or even not even isolated, but created so much trickeration from the playbook to be able to make the Bisons out of Nichols so uncomfortable. But it's been 50-50, and I mean, if there's a key player to ever get to work, it's Pyros. Pyros, I mean, it can't be the only man, but it's definitely one of the main man. Solar 50ing him out, aiming for fakes, but they collide with their teammate. Yano gets a flip reset by landing on top of the ball, squirts it aside. Gawk, just a bit too much on the pinch.
Yeah, just a little bit too much juice on that one. At the end of the day, that's on point. Can't quite get to it, and it's the main hitter, Pyros, striking first yet again.
Nice cut underneath that ball. It didn't need any extra pace as it outplaced Gawk, who went hurtling back to his goal line. 54 seconds in. Nichols has been able to strike first the last couple of games. Can Champlain College limit the damage so they can be able to even this up?
That's what all this is about, right? Limiting the effect that minor losses within game. Well, that's not the way to do it. Champlain, all of them here, you hear the record scratch and they all immediately turn tail. Now trying to get into the offensive position from that, but they should just be glad that that wasn't to take away the other way and a goal on the board.
You might have wondering how I got here. Solar getting knocked aside. We're not seeing as much, at least heavy demo play that was required to get beyond Champlain earlier by Nichols. Only the 1-0. It feels like that the moment is actually defeating them. Just in this early minute and a half plus, they've really kind of over-rotated a time or two. If you're Champlain, you just got to settle. And if you're Nichols, make sure to keep things clean.
Didn't read the angle right there from Ronnie. Kept it clean. I thought that might have been a little bit far to the inside, and it would have been our first own goal on broadcast tonight. Nothing happened. Still 1-0. Unclench your napkins there, folks, of Nichols College. I was certainly pensive. Now that is a different story. Don't unclench those napkins quite yet, folks.
Yeah, my pearls strung all around my fingers, and just a big find. That's actually, I think, not exactly an overt rotation, but definitely the third man coming up from that back line. It's such a deceptive position at the midfield, especially right in the center crosshair. You get that beamed off the sidewall, and you think, okay, am I next man? I can be able to make an approach, but as soon as you just leave that grass for tiles, it's basically free real estate behind you.
Free real estate. Oh, that's bounced just a little bit too high. The follow-up, and that's just bounced a little bit too high again. There you go. Put it inside as Troy, and Nichols College retains a 1-goal lead.
Ronnie actually ruined the whole defense off of that doink. This one gets finished by Troy. Everyone having a hand in the pot, finding the different flavor that they can add to the soup. But Ronnie making sure that that first shot went off his car, got everyone to bounce from Champlain, and from there forward, no one was able to find a chance to stand before Nichols. Can they get something else? Big 50s, big challenges, and that's kept Champlain completely off kilter.
What has been indicative of this matchup between these two, that was rather close, Solar blocking that one, has been the like the multiplay, right? The hit, the block, the demo, and the score. And that was almost another one right there, sans the goal, of course. Coming on down to the wire here on the other side, rolling all the way in dangerous territories, and Troy feasts upon this one. Second shot and second goal made in. For Troy, that is.
Yano could do nothing more but tail in front of Pyros, who was shimming high and low, up onto that wall, not knowing eventually when the bouncing angle would come in. You even see him going in parallel with him. It felt like he was the cameraman in an action movie, just trying to see what the next step would be. Now for Champlain College, they can't just be the audience. They've got to be the indicator. They got to be the initiator. Oh, and Pyros, though, he's trying to be the action movie star. That's a big demo. That's a couple of, that's a triplicate, but this ball does not make it near the net.
Wow, just like they're driving across a minefield right now. That's how many demos we are getting, people. Another one on the Gawk. You can't say you're surprised at this point. Ronnie across the middle. It seems like Champlain members are playing even closer that side than the defenders were. A high-flying ball that just is trying for Champlain to get on the other side of the pitch so they can try and get some shot attempts in here as we hit 75 seconds.
They're trying to neutralize Gawk as well by keeping him at bay in space, and they know that they can either get a bump or simply kind of bait him out into some of these moments. He's upfield now, gets a fist to the face into a defender. Yano has to try and center this up. It's going to be up to Solar instead. He's got Troy to work through. 60 seconds to go. Nichols was in the pit of misery, but even though this not been a perfect season, they might be able to come out smiling if they can get this dub. Champlain, everyone bearing down upon it, but look how they're starting to burn time that Champlain cannot afford.
That's exactly what Ronnie was doing by that. He knew he had a teammate in the back and he can make a play. Solid shot attempt there from Solar. Ronnie on the defensive effort. But burning time, there you go, the pickup, and Gawk gets it in yet again. 1 goal and 1 assist. What's that, about 100%, Monkey Man?
It would feel oh so sweet if you put that to the top of the test. He's not had every single goal and assistance, but he's been able to keep it close. I think he's all a sub-1, maybe even 2. But Champlain, if there was ever a man to do it, it's got to be Gawk that gets involved. Solar has had such sweet moments. He's going to have this one elevate. Going to Yano. It's not just a one-man affair. It's a 3-man team. Can Gawk get underneath it? It's a 50-50. Solar has to joust. Backboard play coming down. Solar from the crossbar. Oh, it go fly by. We got 10 seconds left.
Oh man, players playing defenders, players going up for shots and everything in between. Some solid defense here from Nichols. We hit single-digit seconds. Last bounce territory. Cannot hit the ground again. Got to keep it aloft. Yano does. Back to it. Keeps it off the front, and that's off the wall here. Ronnie, solid hit there. Pass to Yano. Pyro, respecting the rules and keeping this ball aloft. Now trying to take it down the other way as Solar. Loft ways and can't quite do it. Nichols College takes down another one. A nail biter in game 5 by a single point.
Oh man, what a way to go. Champlain College, it was oh so close, yet that one will fall far. That is going to be 2 game 5s they've now lost in the last 3 weeks. Nichols, they're going to go from defeated to 1. It's both these teams, 1 and 2, as they had split the difference between last fall, both in separate A and B divisions of the Northeast. This time around, when they joined forces and they had to face off against each other, giving you and me, Tugboat, an absolute treat. And maybe that's the chance for Nichols to start scaling the ladder, but wow, what a fight towards the end.
Guys, 3 matches here. First 2 best of 7s, last one a best of 5. That goes the distance as well, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 overtimes, at least 1 in each series. I'm not sure what more that you could ask for. Only 3 of these games not being decided by 1. Wow. By 1, Monkey Man. Overtime or otherwise, only 3 of these games total on the day not being decided by a single goal. That's pretty crazy stuff. It's pretty crazy stuff. We had a fantastic day of Rocket League here on this beautiful Thursday. I think we'll be looking forward to Overwatch. Yes, Overwatch there on the channel tomorrow. Is that correct?
Yes, that is very much correct. So make sure you guys join us. We'll be starting again. Same bad time, same bad channel. It's going to be 7 p.m. Eastern. And if you're all the way on the opposite side coast, -3, -2, -1, wherever you might be. But never be minus without us as you get to come on back to NECC. Again, shout out over to our awesome producer in Chippy, as she's been so good at putting our faces in your spaces in Tugboat. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. It has been a pleasure as always. But to all of you, make sure you come on back. We've got every esport in the world, possibly, and a week of gameplay. Week 3 will be closing out here for Friday. And also make sure to check out some G Fuel NECC 20, as well as Wenzel's Farm. But for tonight, I'm Hail Monkey Man. That is Tugboat. You have been pretty darn awesome. We'll see you next time.
this is incredible.
Wow.
Huh?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. Hey man, grab me a meat stick. I think I can reach it if I just a little more. Just let me go a little. I can't. Just a little more. I almost got it. Careful! Oh God! No.